Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
TFR culture. Don't watch. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question started.
This code has been compromised.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. We're broadcasting on Gematria Effect News 22 tonight. Channel 24 got suspended Monday evening after live streaming from the Fred Meyers in Richland, Washington, which was supposedly the home of a mass shooting. It was the second big Kroger shooting, Kroger grocery stores in the last year's time. The last one was King Soopers in Boulder, Colorado on March 22nd, 322. And from that shooting to the Richland Fred Meyers shooting, also owned by Kroger, was 322 days later. And recall, Colorado's the 38th state, 38's the number of death. The Fred Meyers shooting on the 38th day of the year, and the initial reporting the day after was that a 38-year-old killed a 38-year-old. And by the end of the day, they reported that a 39-year-old killed a 38-year-old. And it's funny that it went from 38 to 39 on the 39th day of the year. But, being true to form, being it all about numerology, they said the shooting happened at 11 a.m., and then they captured the shooter 11 hours later on the interstate. And if you guys did not see my live stream on the scene, I talked to a lot of police there, and I got to talk to the lead commander, Commander Lee, the same one that the New York Times and every other paper quoted, telling the story of the supposed shooting. But if you watch my live stream, what you'll learn from Commander Lee is he says directly to the camera, he did not get to see the shooting with his own eyes. All he got was a video clip sent to his phone of the supposed shooting. And again, what they had going on there was they had all the police in the city, in the parking lot, the armored police, the military-looking police, the police chopper, all the police in the city right there at the Fred Meyer in the parking lot. None of them going in the building, all of them saying that, that it's not their responsibility to go in the building. Apparently the feds were in the building because the federal government was on the scene. But again, you guys, it's so obvious what's going on. The arrest is made on a federal interstate, supposedly after an 11-hour manhunt. Well, like I asked Commander Lee, why is all the police here if supposedly the suspect's on the loose? And he didn't have an answer for that. So there wasn't any manhunt. All just parked right there in the parking lot. And you might recall last year it was a Wednesday night. We were covering the King Soopers shooting. Rambo gave a brilliant decode that night, and we didn't get to finish the live stream on YouTube. They shut it down, deleted the video, got a strike. Same thing happened on Monday. So here we are on Gematria Effect News 22. And the Year of the Tiger's underway. Started February 1st. And if you guys have not read my book, Letters and Numbers, I state right in the book why I think the pandemic will last through the Year of the Tiger. And, all the patterns I wrote about and why are just manifesting all around us. And just before we get into this, one of the breaking headlines right now is that Bob Saget's cause of death has been released. And remember, he died a month ago, January 9th. And we said then it was clearly in relation to the 49ers because he's from Full House, San Francisco. He had all the numbers of the 49ers. And the 49ers had two major upsets in the playoffs, making it to the conference championship, nearly went to the Super Bowl before the 13-point collapse to L.A. But they say it's a head trauma. You would think that a head trauma would have been in the initial reporting of his death. I mean, if you have a trauma to your head, you have a big lump, you have a gash, you're bleeding, a head trauma. I mean, that's not a hard thing to observe. That's a very blatant thing. If somebody died from a head trauma, it'd be pretty obvious. Well, we didn't hear anything about this head trauma until just today, a month later. It took 1 month for the revelation of his mysterious death being caused by a head trauma. Now, what's funny about it coming today, 9/2, like 92? Guess what head trauma equals? Most simple cipher. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Just add up head trauma. H is the 8th letter, E is the 5th, A is the 1st, D is the 4th, T is the 20th. Add up head trauma, it equals 92. Here we are on 9/2. Now Bob Saget dead from the head trauma. And, if you saw what I did at the scene of the supposed mass shooting in Fred Meyer, I had the NBC news crew, swat me in the hands and knock my camera out of my hands while I was watching their broadcast. And for doing that, I picked up my camera and I said, oh, you want to do that? Here, I'll step in front of your live broadcast. And I did, and I educated the Richland, Washington audience. If it was going out live, I didn't get to see it myself. I don't know if they just had to sabotage their broadcast or what happened. But I stepped in front of the camera and said, listen, you guys, this coming on the 38th day of the year, synced up with the Colorado shooting in the 38th state. It's not an accident. I'm an author. I have a book on this. In the Code of Gematria, death is represented by the number 38. I was given this presentation in front of the screen. Imagine had they broadcast that to their audience. The next morning, they're waking up to headlines of a 38-year-old killed a 38-year-old on the 38th day of the year and realize this is a pattern we've talked about over and over. But what's funny is, the police that were all around, they didn't care that I was essentially assaulted and my camera was smashed to the ground. Just imagine had I done that to the NBC news crew. Imagine the difference in the police response. You could imagine I'd be in handcuffs and there'd probably be a story about a wacky person at the scene. But the funny thing is, once I got back from the scene, people in the community did some research on that reporting team that was there, and what do you know? If you guys missed how I broke up their presentation, I also presented to the people of Richland that these reporters on the scene didn't know anything. They were just getting notes from their cell phone and reading into the camera what was coming from their cell phone. Well, anyway, the news reporting team, they're all Jesuit educated. They went to Fordham in New York. The lead writer on the story, despite it being in the small town of Richland, Washington, was in New York, where Fordham is, and the lead writer on the scene in Richland, Washington, went to Fordham. See, the Jesuits. And you know how I'm teaching you guys about the 201 code and the Jesuits week after week? Remember, the Jesuit order equals 201, Skull and Bones 201, Skull and Bones numbers 322, 322 days after the last Kroger shooting. Well, the shooting was also 201 days after the anniversary of Mr. Kroger's death, the founder of the company, who happened to have died in the year 38. Go figure, with all the other 38s in the ritual. And again, you guys, it's just funny. I had to drive, and it's about an hour and a half drive, but I just noticed on the way to Richland, I noticed that on the big freeway sign, there's a sign up there that says 38 miles to Richland. And I thought, that's funny. I'm always laughing at road signs when I'm paying attention to, because if you pay attention to road signs, they're kind of random. It's like, well, why did they put it at that milepost? Why that number? Why that distance? Sometimes if you're paying attention, you'll be like, wow, they had two signs really close to each other to give me two specific distances, and I've driven like 100 miles and hadn't got an update. Now there's two in the last 10 miles? Well, you learn what's going on. You recognize these numbers on the freeway signs aren't arbitrary. Not only was it 38 miles to Richland, I noticed when you have to make the turn for the exit to Richland off the interstate, you leave at milepost 38. And I'm just like, look at this. 38 miles, milepost 38. Here we are on the 38th day of the year. By the next day, a 38-year-old shooter has killed a 38-year-old victim until hours later in the day when they change it to a 39-year-old shooter. But, yeah, if you guys missed the live stream, YouTube did censor it, but it is up on my BitChute channel, which is also titled Gematria Effect News, or you can search Zachary K. Hubbard. It's a little bit longer than an hour, and again, I think it's really important because I document the crisis actors that are there. It's so obvious they're the crisis actors. One of them even tried to fight me. And I document how the news media is just reading from their cell phones, getting all the information from the cell phone. I document how not a single police officer, I interview a lot of police officers, not a single one got to go in the store or see anything. They were all just following orders in the parking lot while the feds are in the building. And again, I also got to document how it was the United States of amnesia. Not a single person, and I talked to a lot of people, not a single person could remember the March 22nd King Super shooting of last year at the other Kroger store. That was a big news story for the whole week. But, you know what I want to do real quick? I want to, I want to show you something. I just want to, well, actually, hold on. I want to show you this too. The CNN just put up this story tonight. CNN's talking about how a lot of states are lifting the vaccine and COVID mandates. And it seems funny that they would do this in the winter when flu season's not quite over. But here we are, right at the start of the Year of the Tiger. Like we said in March of 2020, all the signs said that this pandemic would go through the Year of the Tiger. CNN today, when they posted their article about the mandates ending, their picture is of a big clock with the hands on the 12 and 29 minutes after the hour. 12:29. And again, 12:29 is the 201st prime. Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab. The gazillion 201 rituals, not to mention Tiger equals 201 in Jewish gematria. All the clues we had in the beginning plus more that this would go until the Year of the Tiger. Again, all of this stuff is numerical ritual based in astrology, you know. And I want you to see this too. I mean, just what a riot it is. Because I'm going to read a little bit of my book, but I just want you to see something that happened in the world of college basketball last night in light of it being the Year of the Tiger and like what we're saying, how sports and news, how all of this is synced up. At the beginning of the pandemic, they locked down China for 76 days. 76. And in gematria, Tiger equals 76. That was another clue. In Jewish gematria, Tiger's 201. And the base ciphers based on the alphabetic order, Tiger is 71. But yesterday, the Auburn Tigers, who are the number one team in college basketball, they got their first loss in 76 days, and they lost with 76 points. And on the same day, the LSU Tigers won with 76 points, the same LSU Tigers who beat the Clemson Tigers at the beginning of the pandemic, who Joe Burrow played for. And now Joe Burrow's in the Super Bowl 201 days after his college coach's birthday, and 76 days after his own father's birthday. And his college teammate, who's also born in 96, who went to LSU but plays basketball instead of football, who plays for the 76ers, whose birthday is the 201st day of the year. Tomorrow he's going to be the big story in the NBA when he gets traded by the numbers on the 102 date, 201 in reverse, and I'm talking about Ben Simmons. But it'll be another 76-201, and these things are piling up all over the place. But in light of the significance of 76 and 201, I just want to go back and read a little bit. If you have my book, Number Games, I should have got the physical version in here, but I'll just read the ebook from the screen. Chapter 13, which begins on page 174, which is also kind of interesting. But I'm just going to read the first few pages of this chapter real quick. So it's called Chapter 13, Nadia the Tiger, Tiger King, and the Year of the Tiger 2022. Okay, this is the chapter. This book, I was writing this through March, through middle of July 2020, and then right when I thought I was finished, something happened on August 4th, and I hadn't finished the process of having them print it, so I tucked in one little thing at the end in August, or at the beginning of August. But I mean, this book's pretty much been done since July of 2020. But here's what I wrote, based on the information we had then. On April 5th, 2020, headlines read, Nadia the Tiger tests positive for coronavirus. As you might imagine or even recall, it was a story about a tiger at the Bronx Zoo becoming the first animal in the nation to test positive for the deadly virus. To begin with why this matters, Tiger sums to 201 with Jewish gematria. And keep in mind the Bronx isn't too far from the 201 area code in New Jersey that houses the majority of the pharmaceutical giants of the world that stand to benefit a great deal from a coronavirus vaccine, especially if it becomes something that is required and annually. Of course, those requirements would be based... By the way, did you guys see Pfizer's reporting a $102 billion profit? I forget if they said that's their estimate for this year or what they made last year. It was just in the headlines the other day. 102, 201 in reverse. And remember, GlaxoSmithKline and Pfizer merged exactly 102 weeks before their vaccine first got approved. 102, 201. Of course, those requirements will be based on how bad the pandemic is, or at least believed to be. Furthermore, regarding the April 5th date of the news, it can be written 5/4, similar to 54, as in Jesuit order, because again, Jesuit order equals 54, or as 4/5, where IHS is 45, similar to the 45th president, and connecting to Holy Bible, as well as Gutenberg equating to 45, as in the first printed Bible, the Gutenberg Bible, and reminding us of how the King James Version was published in 1611, the year King James turned 45 years old. Remember, this is going on in the time of Donald Trump, number 45. And remember, when Trump became number 45, I said how the Trump-Pence ticket signaled revelation, the trumpets in Revelation, how there'd be apocalyptic themes, how there'd be mass censorship. Everything that I said about Trump's administration was 100% right, and I said it from day one. I warned about it before he even became president. That's why Chris Gio, if you're out there, I really do want you to come on the show. Chris Gio, I appreciate Chris Gio a lot. He was going to do an interview with me because I honestly wanted to ask him why he's staying so hard on the Trump wagon and what it's all about. And he was going to come on the show, but then he said he got sick and he hasn't made an effort to come back on. And I'm kind of disappointed about that, Chris. I want to debate why you're telling people that Trump is still the guy. Your Trump guy is going to be back in the next election, for the record. But we need the world to understand that this guy's a Jesuit stooge, just like Biden is. Just like the same Jesuit scumbags that are pulling the wool over our eyes in so many different ways. I need Chris Gio to come on so we can talk about it. I mean, if he's right, then he'll be able to prove his point. I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, Chris, I think that's part of the reason that you pulled the plug on coming on. Even though you run the network, I got to call you out for it. I don't like when people flake out of things and then don't reschedule. And I still like Chris Gio. I mean, he's not. I mean, nobody likes everything about everybody, but that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Anyway. This part about the Holy Bible is crucial because Nadia the Tiger sums to 121 with simple English, the same as Revelation, the concluding text of the Bible where the story of the mark of the beast is to be taken, 666 if you want to buy or sell. And because of our gained wisdom, we know how vaccination equates to 666. Adding to this Revelation riddle is the fact that Revelation sums to 49 with Pythagorean gematria, and the story broke on a date with 49 numerology, April 5th, 2020. 4 plus 5 plus 20 plus 20, 49. Adding further is that Nadia is considered a beast, and her news story was a riddle, not unlike Revelation 13:18, a Greek isopsephy riddle about the mark of the beast that requires wisdom to calculate. In light of Revelation being part of the Christian section of the Bible, it is important to remind ourselves that both Christianity and coronavirus equate to 155 with simple English. Let us not forget the Clade X simulation on May 15th, or 15/5, 666 days before the pandemic was declared. And regarding the number 155, it is symbolic in this story for numerous reasons. For one, the facility Nadia was housed at. Whoops, my window went down, sorry. For one, the facility Nadia was housed at, the Wildlife Conservation Society, equates to 155 with reverse Pythagorean. At the same time, it sums to 331 with simple English, the 67th prime number corresponding with Nadia the Tiger, equating to 67 with Pythagorean. And for the record, the thing I hate the most about writing about gematria is just that, just labeling the ciphers. I always teach the 4-base ciphers, and I don't know. Maybe I need to just figure out like a coding system or just color the words like in the beginning. I'm going through that thought right now before I finish the last book because I think it just kind of makes the writing a little bit clunkier, but at the same time I want people to know what ciphers it is. And if you pay attention to the book, you'll notice how the majority of things are just in Pythagorean gematria. And Wuhan summing to 67 with simple English. Let us not forget 67 is the 19th prime and 19 is the number of chaos, as in order out of chaos. I should also, and earlier in this book, we covered the 19 hijackers and COVID-19 19 years later and the 19-year cycles of the moon. So again, this is later into the book. There's already a bunch of stuff before this building up. But I should also note the 67th Bilderberg Conference took place in Switzerland not long before the pandemic began, that was declared from Switzerland. If you're not familiar with the Bilderberg Conference, it began in 1954, emphasis on 54. And think about how the Bengal Tigers are in their 54th season now, just like Joe Burrow when he won the Battle of the Tigers in 2020 at the start of COVID. It was the LSU Tigers over the Clemson Tigers in a huge Tiger ritual. Emphasis on 54, and it is where world banking, industry, and media elite gather annually to plot against humanity. As for the next big 155, it is the fact that International Tiger Day, a real thing, falls on July 29th every single year, the day leaving 155 days in the Gregorian year. Making this all the more interesting, in 2020, July 29th was the first day of Tisha B'Av, just as it was in 2001, 19 years earlier. For one last detail on Nadia, she was described as a Malayan tiger, equating to 54 and 72, the same as Jesuit order. And similar to how sun equates to 54 with simple English, and also similar to the date of the news, April 5th or 5-4. It is a reminder, and keep in mind, you guys, now we're in the year of the water tiger. Water tiger equals 54 as well. It is a reminder, all of these rituals are time-based. And again, what was I just showing you about the clock, right? CNN had to post the clock with the hands on 12:29, the 201st prime. Again, I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious when you know what you're looking at. Again, it's just like if you're not trained to see what's before you, you'll never see it. If you don't recognize the signs and symbols, you can't understand it. But once it's in your consciousness, then you see what's being done. Okay, coming back. It is a reminder, all of these rituals are time-based and in tribute to our past as well as where we are going, or better yet, where we are being taken. As we move ahead with this chapter, I will get to the point about how the Cabal are signaling the coming year 2022, the Chinese year of the tiger that ends at the start of 2023, thus 2022 through 23, corresponding with how Wuhan has Pythagorean values of both 22 and 23, and how they are signaling this through rituals such as Nadia, summing to 20 with Pythagorean, a story coming in 2020. Shortly after the story of Nadia, Pink the singer, born Alicia Moore, equating to 56 and 70 in the exact same way as coronavirus, told the story of how her and her 3-year-old son had been battling the illness. As you recall, 3 equates to 56 with simple English, the same as Zoo, where Nadia was diagnosed. Think about how the Bengals are going to their 3rd Super Bowl in Super Bowl 56. And again, when the LSU Tigers won the championship, Ed Orgeron had 56 wins under his belt in the regular season. Now his quarterback's in Super Bowl 56 in the NFL 201 days after his birthday. Again, how it's all scripted. The image the majority... as you'll recall, 3 equates to 56 with simple English, the same as Zoo, where Nadia was diagnosed. The image the majority of mainstream media chose to show when the news broke was Pink holding her child, who was dressed in a toddler's jacket with the tiger emblem clearly on the front of it. In the details of the story, it was reported how her son carried a 102-degree temperature for 2 straight weeks. A reminder for all people listening to practice social distancing, summing to 102, the same as Wuhan, China. Days after that, ESPN reported on April 7th, 2020, how Tiger Woods was enjoying his annual Masters dinner quarantine style, with emphasis on the phrase quarantine style, as the media so often does when there are key numbers behind it. Case in point, quarantine style sums to 201 with simple English, similar to how Tiger sums to 201 with Jewish gematria. And yes, by the way, did you guys see how Google, that celebrates its birthday on the Jesuit birthday, whose leader Sundar Pichai is 201, how they had a 20-1 stock split on the agreement on the first day of the year of the tiger? One of many rituals going on in the world, from Google to COVID. Again, all these Jesuits doing the same things, but people aren't connecting the dots because they don't have the knowledge. It's like they're being treated like they're little babies in a room of adults, where the little babies aren't expected to know what the adults are talking about, even though they're talking about it right in front of the little infants. And yes, for the record, I helped people win a fortune with the 2019 Masters that Tiger won by showing how it was in the bag for Tiger Woods to win nearly a year in advance. How? For starters, the name Tiger Woods sums to 54 with both Pythagorean methods, similar to how Jesuit order sums to 54 and 144, combining perfectly with the 2019 Masters end date won by Tiger Woods on Sunday, April 14th, or 14/4, an infamous date in history for the Jesuits, who are credited with the assassination of Lincoln April 14th, 1865. And think about it. After this book came out, Tiger Woods' supposed leg injury came on February 23rd, the 54th day of the year. And did you see any evidence of that? No, you just had to believe the story, where the authorities just expect you to believe their BS day after day. And for those familiar with the golf superstar, consider how Tiger always wears red and black on Sundays, the colors of the Jesuits, and in many regards, the Catholic Church itself. The bigger giveaway that the tournament was in the bag for Tiger was that the 2019 Masters tournament was 22 years after Tiger won his first Masters in 97 and 11 years after he won his last major, where the Master numbers are 11 and 22. Plus golf sums to 22 in Pythagorean, the same as Master and the same as Woods. To take it to the next level, April 14th was 105 days after Tiger Woods' birthday. The 14th triangular number in golf equates to 14 with reverse Pythagorean, similar to slave with Pythagorean. I bring up the word slave because the tournament began April 11th, 2019, 102 days after Tiger's birthday, corresponding with the gematria of slavery, equating to 102, and the fact that the American Civil War began April 12th, 1861, the 102nd day of the year. And beyond that, Civil War equates to 43, what is the 14th prime number, and Tiger Woods was 43 years old at the time of the 2019 Masters win. And again, you guys, I'm making the point because we're talking about George Floyd and the Civil War symbolism and Black Lives Matter and how all of this stuff is Jesuit cabal and how it's all encoded in paying tribute to our history as well as what they have projected that's coming forward to us. Well, when I read this, my new book's a lot simpler. Like I read it, I feel like some of this stuff might be too complicated for some people. There's some people that just pick it right up and get it. But that's why my newest book that I'm writing, it'll still be great for any level of understanding of this work, but I've just made it easier with a much more simple flow for people who just, their number skills aren't as good. The final piece was that April 14th could also be expressed as Tiger Woods' 106th day of his age, corresponding with the gematria of both black and prophecy, and while we're at it, Black Lives Matter. This mattered in 2019 because on August 20th of that year, months after the Masters golf tournament concluded, the 400-year prophecy from Acts 7:6 was fulfilled. And keep in mind, both the names Tiger and Woods, as well as the words slave and master, equate to 76. We'll be right back, Truth Seeker. The commercial's coming on.
It's not okay for you to be a weak loser. It's not okay. And the reason it's not okay is because you could be way more than that.
There's somebody sitting home right now. There's a young 10-year-old kid sitting home that don't have a father. And he's ready to join the game. He's ready to give up. I'm telling you, don't give in. And don't ever give up.
It's a crime, an ethical crime, for you to allow all that necessary potential to go to waste. It hurts you, it hurts your family, it hurts the world. Really, really, it does.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
I want to determine if the Grand Architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step Beyond the Veil with Chris and Sherry Geo. Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
All right. I was almost done reading the piece I wanted to read. I just got a few more seconds of reading here, and then we'll go right out to Rambo. But, again, this mattered in 2019 because on August 20th of that year, months after the Masters golf tournament concluded, the 400-year prophecy from Acts 7:6 was fulfilled. And keep in mind both the names Tiger and Woods as well as the words slave and master equate to 76. It was for this reason we were also, again, the prophecy of Acts 7:6 is that for 400 years, a people will be slaves in a nation, and then Acts 7:7 is about that nation getting punished, which we covered earlier in the book. And again, United States is 77, and COVID came shortly after August 20, 2019. And a lot of consequences for the people of the land. But, and keep in mind, both the names Tiger and Woods, as well as the words slave and master, equate to 76, like Acts 7:6. It was for this reason we were also able to call the Virginia Cavaliers winning the college basketball championship at the start of February in 2019 during Black History Month, when we connected the dot that the first slaves to arrive in America arrived at Point Comfort, Virginia, on the James River, explaining why so many politicians in the state were being accused of wearing blackface. And not to be a broken record, but I promise you, you'll never look at sports and news the same way again, because from this day forward, you will have the knowledge to see through the scripted rituals that are intertwined, that are the workings of the cabal. And better yet, you can see them before they come. Continuing with the number 76, on April 7th, 2020, the date of the news of Tiger Woods' quarantine-style dinner, Wuhan, China ended their lockdown after 76 days. Again, another tribute to Tiger, summing to 76, as in the Chinese Year of the Tiger. And keep in mind, Tiger Woods is of African and Asian descent. Also consider that the lockdown in Wuhan had been on the 23rd of January, a fitting date since Wuhan sums to 23 with reverse Pythagorean. At the same time, outbreak sums to 123 and 51 in Gematria, and Wuhan, China also sums to 51, meaning that between the date, January 23rd or 1/23, and the location summing to 51, both outbreak numbers were covered. So anyway, there's a lot more. But again, I mean, we're talking about rigged sports, rigged news, rituals, why the pandemic should go to the Year of the Tiger. And I mean, here we are at the start of the Year of the Tiger. They're now winding down worldwide a lot of mandates, and all over the place, 76 rituals are happening in sports, including Joe Burrow, who, ironically, the first page I talk about him in my book is page 213, and here he is in the Super Bowl on 213. But again, he's going to be in the Super Bowl as the LSU Tigers 76 days after his dad's birthday. Again, as the Auburn Tigers lose their first game in 76 days, losing with 76 points on the same day that LSU Tigers won with 76. And that ritual happened on February 8th, 8/2, where Cincinnati, Ohio's 82. And again, the Bengals were first in the Super Bowl in 82, the year of the Tiger, or Eye of the Tiger came out. Which, by the way, if you slow it down to 0.7 speed, I'm telling you, it's a new smash. I'm telling you, 3/4 speed on Eye of the Tiger is the way that song was meant to be played. But Anyway, there's more I want to say, but I got to go out to Rambo. I can't keep him on hold. We might talk about this more later, or we might just take your great calls all night. Let me get Rambo connected here. By the way, if the show drops out tonight, I was having a devil of a time getting online tonight. My internet connection went down about 5 minutes before the show. It didn't come back up until the very last second. So we'll see if they play any more games with us. But it's Rambo's time to shine. Oh, by the way, before we put Rambo on, it was December 21st, 2020, that Rambo talked about the Bengals game against the Steelers on the date of the Great Conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn. Well, from that game, which the Bengals won 27-17, 44 total points, the Bengals now in the Super Bowl on the 44th day of the year. From that game to the Super Bowl is 419 days later. Cincinnati Bengals in Jewish gematria equals 419. And again, they're the striped planet, as Rambo taught us that night. Or Jupiter is the striped planet, the tiger planet. Jupiter in the most simple cipher is 99. This season began on 9/9, September 9th. The Super Bowl is now number 9. Matt Stafford, who came over from the Lions, now facing the Tiger, number 9, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow trying to get the Bengals their 9th playoff win, trying to give Stafford his 99th career loss. Again, everything Rambo talked about in that presentation, you can just see how it all factored into this NFL season so perfectly. And, it was thanks to that input from Rambo that we saw in the wild card round. I had my people from the beginning of the season in the AFC on the Chiefs. Once after the wild card round, when I realized that the Super Bowl was 76 days after Joe Burrow's dad's birthday, I said, man, we got a hedge here with the Bengals. All the things Rambo told us about are right here in the year of the Tiger. So anyway, with that said, here's Rambo. Welcome back, friend.
Thanks again.
Always.
Yeah, more 9/9s. You said the season started on September 9th, 9/9, which is a Thursday. Thursday is day of the Jupiter. The mayor of Cincinnati, the current mayor of Cincinnati, his birthday is September 9th.
The current mayor of Cincinnati's birthday is 9/9?
What is that?
Did I hear that right? The mayor of Cincinnati, his birthday is September 9th?
Yeah. The current mayor of Cincinnati, his birthday.
Okay, Rambo, I got to share one more thing. Last week, they evacuated the Cannon building in Washington, D.C. on the same day that Joe Biden said, in regards to the Second Amendment, well, you can't just own whatever you want. You can't own a cannon. He said that on the same day, which is actually a false statement. But what I found out since is not only did they evacuate the Cannon building on the 56th day of Joe Burrow's age, again, it's Super Bowl 56, Washington, D.C.'s 56, Society of Jesus 56. If you look up who the Cannon building is named after, it's named after a man who went to the University of Cincinnati. And you know what else? Just since The Who is returning to Cincinnati for the first time since the concert tragedy, back when the Travis Scott concert tragedy happened, we talked about the significance of the Jesuit numbers on the Who tragedy, the Pearl Jam concert tragedy, and the Travis Scott tragedy. Well, guess what? The concert's going to be May 15th, 191 days after the Travis Scott concert tragedy, while Xavier, the Jesuit university in town, is 191 years old, and where Society of Jesus equals 191 with the alphabetic order, it equals 56 with numerology. Of course, the Travis Scott concert was on the day leaving 56 days left in the year, 191 days for the upcoming Who concert. And not only that, but if you run it in reverse, Society of Jesus is 79, and the Who tragedy happened in 79. And if you run it in reverse without numerology, it's 187, like Ohio's 187, where the concert's going to be. And, of course, the last time there was a tragedy in Cincinnati, it was on December 3rd in 79, the same day in history that Francis Xavier died, the co-founder of the Jesuits. And now the university's 191 years old, and they're going to have the concert tragedy 191 days after the Travis Scott thing, which was on November 5th, the day associated with the Jesuits. Rambo, for all the people out there that think this stuff's just naturally lining up and organic, I mean, do you think it's really possible for something like that to be such a coincidence?
Well, not to that extent. I mean, we see organic synchronicities in our lives, but there does reach a point where it can't. That's just too much to be entirely organic. Like the whole thing with Joe Burrow going to a Tiger-themed university, a Tiger-themed NFL team, and he's a Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, whose sign is the Tiger, and then in the championship game for the college championship, he plays the Clemson Tigers, a Tiger-themed team, and then on his birthday, in the Indian movie industry, a movie named Bengal Tiger is released on his birthday. So no, things like that. No, obviously he was chosen because of his zodiac sign for this. That not all of that. There's no way all of that is just organic. It's way too much. Like I said, if it's not organic, you're talking about odds, which are you can't even fathom those odds of all those things aligning. If somebody actually, if they just happen by chance, I mean, but the odds are almost infinite.
It's just like how before I went to the shooting in Richland, Washington, I did a quick presentation, taught about 38, the 201 connection, the Jesuit numbers all over it. Then lo and behold, I get into a confrontation with a news team, and it turns out they're all a bunch of Jesuits from Fordham. I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, and then it reminds me, they worked for NBC, MSNBC's the merger of Microsoft, founded by William Henry Gates, who's 201 with the, now he's divorced, but his wife from a family of Jesuit priests. I mean, what's beautiful about what happened this week is I was on the scene documenting exactly how contrived the BS is, how centralized it is, how all the people right there at the scene don't even know what's going on, and they're all taking orders from some centralized place through their cell phone. I mean, it's just so easy to see how these operations are being carried out. There's nothing organic about what's going on in the media, in the world of rig sports, entertainment. There is a totally organic side to the code that we see in our lives, but the manipulation is what we see in the media and what we're exposing here day after day. I'm going to try to shut up now, Rambo. Take it away, friend.
Also in the Fred Meyer thing, if you see the date that Fred Meyer supermarket was established is December 10th. That's Joe Burrow's birthday. So that was interesting.
And the guys, I know I said I was going to shut up, but the guy Kroger is from Cincinnati as well. He's from Cincinnati. And it reminds of Russell Wilson, the Seahawks quarterback, who's from Cincinnati. The last time the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl, there was a big mass shooting right here for political reasons in Washington State that became part of the Seahawks narrative. They wore a patch for that as they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so Cincinnati is a pretty central. I mean, Kroger is just a massive, giant corporation. But another huge corporation is Procter & Gamble. They're also headquartered in Cincinnati, and they have a distinct Twin Towers headquarters in Cincinnati. So, yeah, it's turned out Cincinnati is a pretty major city. I was looking at the rankings as far as the size. They usually do it by population of Cincinnati, and I saw that they're either 64th or 65th in the United States. It doesn't seem like it because they pack a lot of clout for their size. It's hard to believe there are 63 or 64 cities bigger than Cincinnati, but it's a major point. It's the city of Seven Hills, which is the moniker of Rome. It's the moniker of Jerusalem. It's the moniker of Athens, the city of Seven Hills. Well, Cincinnati. I've done that in my videos on my channel. I've spoken about the occult roots and significance of Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. I was doing that. I started that in 2020 before the conjunction. So, yeah, so my post here, I've been talking about sacrifices. Last week I talked about animal sacrifices. There's another more significant animal sacrifice, which I'll talk about later. I did a video on it, which is the gorilla Harambe in 2016 was shot in the Cincinnati Zoo. Well, the Bengals themselves have declared that this is what they're rallying around for the Super Bowl. They said they're going to win it for Harambe the gorilla. So I talked about the giraffe named after Burrow. And, he died on September 8th of 2021. And news of the death of the giraffe named Burrow, which was in the Baton Rouge Zoo, news of his death came the next day, which was September 9th, which was the start of this NFL season in which the quarterback, which the giraffe was named after, reached the Super Bowl. So, yeah, the synchronicity, this is this is an obvious ritual. But the gorilla that was shot in the Cincinnati Zoo, Harambe, that's the one animal that actually, of all the other animal sacrifices, this one stands out. And I did a video on it. I put a video up on my channel. My channel is The Truth Codes. My latest video is on Harambe, the gorilla. I'll have more to add than what's in there. So I went back to some of the humans who've passed away who are connected to Cincinnati. I'm not just looking at Cincinnati, but everything seems to be attached to, from what I've observed, to Cincinnati more than anything else. I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee that they'll win the Super Bowl as a result of all of this. Who knows? Maybe the reward is just being in the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying what I see, all these connections to Cincinnati. Like, they're undeniable. You can't. So typically ahead of every Super Bowl major event, you do see deaths which are associated with the principal entities involved. In this case, we see Cincinnati, where you've enumerated a whole bunch of them. The deaths that are associated with Cincinnati. I've shown some of them. And as we know, most of us, not everybody's into football, but the Cincinnati Bengals will be facing the Los Angeles Rams in Super Bowl 56 on February 13th of 2022. And a death that occurred in 2021 that is connected to the city of Cincinnati occurred on May 22nd. And the person who died was Allison Sidlowski. She was a standout, a soccer star for the University of Cincinnati Bearcats. And what's important here is the date on which her body was recovered. They said she drowned in a lake in the suburbs of Cincinnati. She was found drowned in a lake. And I've done several decodes in the past on this trend of drownings. There's a overarching ritual theme to drownings, and they more often than not involve females. And I'll go more into that ritual theme because water is considered a feminine element. Of the four material elements is earth, which is feminine, water is feminine, and then air is masculine, and fire is masculine. So water is a feminine element, and this has a lot to do with the trend. I actually enumerated several high-profile drownings, which are overwhelmingly females. So there's more to this than just the Super Bowl. It's part of a trend, and I'll allude to some of those other events of the female drowning. So this is part of it. When you see a female drowning, there's an overarching ritual theme that goes along with this. But significant here to the Super Bowl, the fact that she's from Cincinnati, she represented the University of Cincinnati Bearcats. Well, the Cincinnati Bengals were established on May 23rd. And it was May 23rd, 2021, which is the 54th anniversary of the establishment of Cincinnati Bengals, that her body was recovered. So her body was recovered on the anniversary of the establishment of the Cincinnati Bengals, actually the 54th anniversary.
Rambo.
And
again, I just want to remind people that that's not actually the official establishment date. That's the day they were voted into existence. The next day is the official establishment date. They're both important, but the day of the official establishment was the day this news broke. I covered it then. And again, her dying on 22/5 is number 3 as the Bengals now go to their third Super Bowl. Remember, 225 is associated with the Holy Trinity. She wears number 3. When you write out in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, it's 225, and that's why they were coding that all over with the Catholic ritual of George Floyd's death and the Waynell Sexton and the sex abuse. So, and just with regards to sex abuse and them doing 225 all over the place, they just did it with the Secrets of Playboy coming out 225 weeks after Hugh Hefner's death. It just makes me wonder if maybe even this woman was sexually abused before the death, just as we pile on the facts as time goes on. But no doubt the 225 and the number 3 and them now being in the Super Bowl, just all fitting together. And again, she's right there where Xavier is in Cincinnati, dead at 21, Jesuit 21. The news broke on the 144th day of the year, Jesuit Order 144. Again, sorry, Rambo, I'm interrupting so much, but I want to make sure we hit these just basic surface level points that are just super repetitious patterns. So go ahead, friend.
No, that's great that you mentioned the Holy Trinity, because that's actually part of this decode.
Awesome.
Trinity is a big part of the decode.
Indeed.
So yeah, it's appropriate that you mentioned that. That's part of the female. When you see females in a lot of these type of rituals, especially when they involve water, it's the sacred feminine principle. The sacred feminine principle is part of the Trinity. But you have the consciousness Trinity, which is thought, action, emotion. And thought is represented by the skull. Action is the crossed femur bones. That's what the skull and femur bones. It's thought and action. And then the female part of the Trinity is emotion, which should be represented by a heart. When you have skull and crossbones, there's no heart. That's destruction of the sacred feminine. That's thought and action with no emotion. So the female part of the Trinity is what's relevant here, which is, I'm going to deal with that in the later in the decode. But yes, Trinity absolutely is part of this decode. So the chief antagonist to the Cincinnati Bengals on the Rams side is his counterpart, quarterback Matt Stafford. And that's a very relevant name because her head coach, the Cincinnati Bearcats head coach, he's still the head coach, I believe, of the women's soccer team. His name is Stafford. Just by coincidence. I also underlined the phone number for Cincinnati. I explained in some past decodes and in my videos how the area code for Cincinnati is 513. Cincinnati is named after the military and blue blood order, the Society of the Cincinnati, who were founded. They're actually founded in New York State in Hudson Valley. The Society of the Cincinnati were founded on May 13th. That's a day written 513. Cincinnati was named after the Society of Cincinnati, and they gave Cincinnati the area code of 513 as homage to the Society of Cincinnati. That was found on May 13th. That's a major number. But, yeah, that's Neil Stafford is their head coach's name. Matthew Stafford is who the Bengals will be facing in the Super Bowl. So they said that her body was recovered on May 23rd, and her hometown is important. Her hometown is Strongsville, Ohio. Well, when you write out Strongsville, Ohio, it sums to 213 in Gematria. 213 is relevant because that's the date of the upcoming Super Bowl. It's February 13th. So her hometown, Strongsville, Ohio, sums to 213, like the date of the Super Bowl. This has Joe Burrow's full name, Joseph Lee Burrow, sums to 213. His nickname, Joey Franchise, sums to 213. In 2019, a former Bengals running back, Cedric Benson, died in a motorcycle accident. Well, Cedric Benson is 213, like the date of the Super Bowl.
Did you measure? Bengals have reached. Did you measure from his death to the game? Did you?
I did, but it's. Yeah, I don't want to put too many different numbers into it, so it was a little more convoluted.
Okay.
This is more of a direct. I find this more direct. It's 213. The Bengals are in the Super Bowl on 213, and his name comes to 213.
Well, here's the direct connection. There's a very direct connection. So it's 911 days from his death to the Super Bowl. 911. Brady beat the Rams in his second season in the Super Bowl exactly right after 9/11 and the Patriot Act. And all of a sudden the Patriots, who were a lousy football franchise until the Patriot Act, Brady wins the Super Bowl in his second season over the Rams. Now Joe Burrow's in his second season facing the Rams. He's the Tiger. Tom Brady retired on the first day of the year of the Tiger, and a man whose career is defined by 201 Brady. And he retired 53 days after Joe Burrow's birthday, and 46 days after the Pope's, and Brady met the Pope back in 2004. Joe Burrow equals 53, and the other way, Joe Burrow equals 46. And Los Angeles is 53, who Brady also beat in the Super Bowl. Well, the thing is, 911 days from Benson's death to the Super Bowl facing the Rams, who have now played in 911 games once they enter this Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl era. From 1966, when the Super Bowl era began, to this game is 911. This will be the 911th game for the Rams. And 911 is the 156th prime. Cincinnati Bengals equals 156. When you spell out 33 as a word, it equals 156, like false flag. Again, 9/11, false flag, 33 years later after 68. By the way, George W. Bush's graduating class in 1968 at Yale had 911 members in it. Something I learned this week. It just blew my mind with all the other stuff that went down in 1968 with 9/11, the World Trade Centers. But 911 is the 156th prime. The Rams come into the Super Bowl 15-5. So if they lose, they're 15-6, like 156, like Cincinnati Bengals, like 911, the 156th prime. And here's a sacrifice of one of their great players, Cedric Benson, 911 days before the Super Bowl. And I know we can't overwhelm people, but I think that's a pretty straightforward and easy connection to understand when you think of the history of the Rams. And what you've been teaching about, Rambo, Jupiter. Jupiter equals 36. Super Bowl 36 was Brady over the Rams. Now we have another Super Bowl season all about 99 where Jupiter's also 99. And now Joe Burrow, we're going to find out, is he the new Tom Brady or is he Mr. Almost? We'll find out as soon as this Sunday. So...
Yeah, so there's also there's a theme regarding Christ. So 9/11 is September 11th is also theorized as being a possible authentic birthday of the entity popularly known as Jesus Christ. And there's a lot of Jesus Christ symbolism, like 9/11 had Jesus Christ symbolism. And part of that is the fact that the stadium, SoFi Stadium, in which the Super Bowl will be participated in, was opened on September 8th, which is considered the birthday of the Virgin Mary. There is a lot of Christ symbolism in there, but September 11th is directly related to that. So 213 is Strongsville, Ohio. That's Allison Sidlowski's hometown. Strongsville, Ohio, 213. That's the date of the Super Bowl. February 13th, Joseph Lee Burrow, 213. Joey Franchise, 213. Cedric Benson, 213. The official biological genus and species name of a tiger is Panthera tigris.
Rambo, we'll be right back. Commercial, sorry guys.
Hi, my name is Ella, and I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
Why not visit the border? Why not see what Americans are seeing?
I think that at some point she may go to the border. We'll see, but we'll circle back.
You have a message for would-be migrants. Don't come.
Do not come. Do not come. She may go to the border. I will have to circle back on that one. Do not come. Do not come. I expect at some time she may go to the border. We'll circle back. You have to understand that there's a reason people are arriving at our border.
So how quickly does this change what we see at the border?
I don't understand the point that you're making. There's not going to be a quick fix. I've been very clear from the beginning. What her focus has been, what the assignment is to work with leaders. She's doing exactly what the president asked her to do.
It is insulting. It is embarrassing.
You have a message for would-be migrants. Don't come.
Do not come. Do not come. She may go to the border. I will have to circle back on that one. Do not come. Do not come. I expect at some time she may go to the border. We'll circle back.
The reason that I'm in Guatemala is to address the reasons people leave home, flee. They want to stay. They want to leave. We are going to the border. We've been to the border. This whole thing about the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
What her focus has been, what the assignment is
is to work with leaders. She's doing exactly what the president asked her to do.
It is insulting. It is embarrassing.
You had a message for would-be migrants. Don't come.
Do not come.
Put it in reverse.
Do not come. She may go to the border. I will have to circle back on that one. Do not come. Do not come. I expect that sometimes she may go to the border. We'll circle back.
I don't know what to tell people that live at the southern border. I guess they better arm up and get guns and be ready. Maybe they're going to have to start taking matters into their own hands. It is bad all around.
Don't come.
Do not come.
Put it in reverse.
Do not come. She may go to the border. I will have to circle back on that one. Do not come. Do not come. I expect that sometimes she may go to the border.
Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
We're back, True Seeker. We got interrupted by the commercial break. Rambo's with us. I'm going to try not to interrupt him so much, but I also want to say a breaking headline. Jeremy Giambi, former Major League Baseball player, not quite as big as a star as his brother Jason Giambi, but he's 47 years old, and they're saying suspected suicide. In Gematria, suicide equals 47. And so many suicides to start this year. And I see a whole lot more stuff, but just right away, suicide 47, star baseball player dead at 47, and, you know, what do you know? I got a license plate that behind me that says, what is 47? They do so many numbers with this ritual. Anyhow, you got the floor again, Rambo.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's 213, which is the date of the Super Bowl. Strongsville, Ohio, 213. Joseph Lee Burrow, Joey Franchise, Cedric Benson, Panthera tigris. That's the genus and species of the tiger. The Cincinnati Bengals nicknamed their home stadium the Jungle. And they have the slogan, "Welcome to the Jungle." Well, that sums to 213. So I guess it was written in the stars that 213 would be an important day for them at some point. So the drowning death of this female soccer star actually brings up a similar incident where a female soccer star drowned in a lake as well, and that was in 2019. That was 1 week before the United States women's national team won the World Cup. There was a female, a member of the Swiss national team, Floriana Ismaili. She drowned in a lake in Italy. So it's very similar. So and I've done work, like I've said, on the ritual of women and water and the female and the Trinity, and this fits that. So a lot of this has to do with the moon. The moon in Western mystery traditions is considered female, and the moon controls water, which is a feminine element because the moon controls the tides. The moon also determines monthly cycles, which is related to female fertility. So the moon is very much a major part of rituals that involve the sacred feminine. And in gematria, moon sums to 57 and 51. So these are important moon numbers, 57 and 51, that come up time and time again when you see a female and a water ritual. So female drowns, which there are multiple stories of celebrity females drowning, 57 and 51 are almost in almost all of them. And those are moon numbers, and the moon related to water. Again, a moon is feminine. And the name Mary is related to these rituals because Mary is related to water because in Latin, mare is sea. So that's where the name Mary, which comes from mare, is related to water. And I give the French language as an example. Sea in French is mer, and the exact same word, just spelled differently, also means mother in French. So in French, sea and mother are mer, which comes from mare, which comes from the word for sea and water. So other famous women who have drowned in lakes, such as, Ali Sidlowski, Naya Rivera, who we talked about, she drowned in a lake, Lake Piru in California in 2020. Her middle name was Marie. Mary Jo Kopechne, she drowned in Pucha Pond in Chappaquiddick, Massachusetts, when Senator Ted Kennedy drove a car into the lake, and he exited the car and left her to drown. That was in 1969. And her name Mary. There's another famous drowning in a lake. Her name is Mary. There was Maeve Kennedy, the granddaughter of Robert F. Kennedy, who drowned in a canoeing accident in 2020. And this happened in Maryland, so there's Mary part of that. And then, this was a bathtub death, not a lake death, but Dolores O'Riordan, who was the lead singer for the Cranberries, which is a very popular pop group. Dolores O'Riordan died in a bathtub. They said she drowned in a bathtub. And her middle name was Mary. So Mary is very significant to drowning rituals.
Mary
and this is relevant because the SoFi Stadium, what is that?
I was just saying, Mary's the moon.
Yeah. So SoFi Stadium, which is a venue of the Super Bowl, was opened on the birthday, which is celebrated as the birthday, the nativity of the Virgin Mary. So this is why Virgin Mary is very central to this ritual. And the Super Bowl halftime show will involve 8 star musicians, but only one female. It's 7 males and 1 female. The one female is named Mary, and that is Mary J. Blige. So Mary is central to this. And in astrology, the moon rules the zodiac sign of Cancer. And in gematria, moon sums to 51. Mary J. Blige will be 51 years old. That's a major reason as to why she's Mary and she's the moon. 51 years old, very relevant to this. They didn't have her for last Super Bowl. They won't have her for the next one. It's this one.
And
because she's Mary and she's...
Just with the 51, we got to remind about Regina King right after she turned 51 on Martin Luther King's birthday. They have the same birthday. Right after that, her son reportedly committed suicide, and the news broke just before the divisional round game where the Bengals won their first ever road playoff game over the Titans on their way to the Super Bowl. And again, she just turned 51. Cincinnati equals 51, like you're saying, Moon and Mary's 51. Joe Burrow just made it to the Super Bowl, winning the AFC Championship 51 days after his birthday. And if you look at his career touchdowns right now, he has 47 in the regular season and 4 in the postseason. He goes to the Super Bowl with 51 total career touchdowns 51 days after his birthday, after all these 51 rituals, and a Super Bowl synced up with his father, and Mary J. Blige is going to perform Family Affair, the big song she did with Dr. Dre, about 20 years ago at this game. I mean, it's just so perfect. I mean, and it's just, you got people sacrificing their own children. And by the way, what's amazing is all of the internet has had to censor the fact that Regina King is from Cincinnati. Since that happened, we documented that day, she was from Cincinnati. Now everything has rebranded where she's from Wikipedia to IMDb. She's now no longer is Regina King from Cincinnati. Now she was born in Los Angeles in this new Orwellian computer age. But yeah, the 51's been huge.
Yeah. So moon is 51. It's a big part of this ritual. And at the time of the Super Bowl, I took part of a chart. It's an astrology chart in the tropical zodiac for February 13th, 2022 in Los Angeles, Inglewood at 6:30 p.m. local time. This is part of the chart. Hopefully it doesn't look too confusing. A part of that outer circle, which I show, that curve, that's the constellations. So out of 360 degrees, there are 12 signs, so each sign is 30 degrees. And so the glyphs, the important thing to understand is the glyphs. So you see that 69 looking one in the red, that's Cancer, that's the symbol for Cancer. And then below that, there's that gray circle. You'll see a moon, a crescent. That's actually the glyph in astrology for the moon. And what this does, it tells you where the moon will be on February 13th, 2022 in Inglewood at 6:30 p.m., a time of the Super Bowl. And because the moon moves through the signs pretty quickly because it's so close to Earth. So exactly at Super Bowl time, the moon will be in Cancer. And that's important because the moon rules Cancer. When a body rules a zodiac sign, this is mysticism. That means that body is at its strongest, at its strongest vibration when they call it domicile, or you could say the moon is at home. The moon is at home in Cancer, and that's when the moon is at its strongest. Well, the moon will be at home at the start of the Super Bowl. So the moon is a big part of this. And it's significant. They intentionally built an artificial, pond or lake next to the stadium. So the stadium's not next to a natural body of water. It's not next to a river. It's not next to the ocean. They built water, and that's very esoteric as to why they intentionally built water next to the stadium. Water is a big part of it. Like you'll see it in Washington, D.C. They have that long stretch of water. They also do it for the reflection, as above, so below. So water is very important to this. So Moon and Mary have triple overlap in the three base ciphers of English gematria. But Mary sums to 24. That's important. Mary is 24 in reverse full reduction or reverse Pythagorean, because when you look at the chart, it's in the tropical zodiac, at 6:30, which is roughly around kickoff time, 6:30 p.m., the moon will be, this is very precise, exactly at 24 degrees of Cancer. It's not 24 degrees. Like you see the other numbers, like point whatever, like that means minutes. So if you see like Venus 15.27, actually means 15 degrees 27 minutes. That's what that means. But the moon will be at 24 degrees on the money, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. That's very precise. That's not a coincidence. Mary is 24, with Mary performing at halftime in a stadium that was opened on the birthday of the Virgin Mary. This is a huge part of the ritual. So that's really precise, the astrology that they're using. It's on the money, 24 degrees on the money. That's Mary. And it's interesting that Rams also comes to 51 and 57. That's another 51 there. 57 is big to water rituals. Mary is the mother of Jesus. And mother of Jesus comes to 57. Now, going back to the Allison Sidlowski, when she was recovered from the lake on May 23rd, that's an important day for the Cincinnati Bengals anniversary. Look at the time that the Cincinnati Enquirer, that's the most prominent and prestigious newspaper in Cincinnati, it's the Cincinnati Enquirer. They published the story of the recovery of her body at 12:25 p.m. Now, 12:25 is important as a date because 12:25 is December 25th, which is Christmas. And that tells me that she was a Mary figure. There's no coincidence that they picked 12:25
And the square root of 1225 is 35, like Catholic equals 35, like Holy See 35, like eye 35. The football's the shape of your eye from what you can see with the eyelids. It is the eye. It's the whole world's eye is focused on it every weekend during football season. And that's why the first Super Bowl is won with 35 points. And with regards to Mary, her birthday is celebrated as September 8th, the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. Here we are in the Bengals' 54th season. So, I mean, it all comes together so perfect.
Yeah, and Holy See is relevant. Holy See, See is what? Mare, Mary. That's where the word Mary comes from, See. So, yeah, See is big. So the English language, they use the English language. They have like double entendres, and words can mean, if you just look at a word, it can mean something other than what it officially means. And the word Merry Christmas. Now, they could say Happy Christmas. No, it's Merry Christmas. They say Happy Birthday. Don't say Merry Birthday. Merry Christmas is used because Mary, M-E-R-R-Y, is Mary, the mother of Jesus. You're celebrating the birth of Jesus, so you use a word Mary, which actually refers to Mary. So that's why they use Mary for Christmas. It's a reference to Mary. So 57, the Mary Moon number, is relevant to the Super Bowl. The head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats women's team that Ali Sidlowski was part of, his name Neil Stafford, against Stafford. That's the name of the Cincinnati Bengals opponent, Rams quarterback Stafford. Neil Stafford comes to 57. The name of the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, comes to 57. I've also noticed that aside from some of the sports that require, taller women like basketball, this is my own observation, the number of females that are listed as 5'7", 5'7", that has to be the most common height for female athletes that I've noticed. So when Floriana Ismaili, the Swiss player, drowned in the lake in Italy 1 week before the 2019 World Cup, the person benefited, from that event that occurred that time was the U.S. national team's superstar, Megan Rapinoe, because it was a crowning glory for her. It wasn't just on the field, but off the field, she became a civil rights icon. She was getting into it with Donald Trump. And the truth is, neither of them are actually the ones doing the tweets. People don't realize that. Donald Trump is not on Twitter, neither is Megan Rapinoe. Their names are associated with it, and they'll take ownership of it. They're not spending all their time on Twitter, but it boosts her profile. She stood up to the bully Trump, and she's an activist, and she's the best female player in the world. This was a crowning glory for Megan Rapinoe at the time. Wow. At the same time, somebody else, a female soccer star, lost her life. I explain in my videos about the sacrifice principle, which is part of human history from the beginning. It's part of Christianity. It's part from the earliest Sumerian creation texts, where a creator being in the original Sumerian text, a creator being had to be sacrificed, a quote-unquote God had to be sacrificed for the human race to be upgraded to its present form. So that's the whole concept of sacrifice, where a life has to be lost for a greater benefit of another life. That's what we're talking about here. That's part of the human history from day one. So yeah, Floriana Ismaili, she lost her life, and it happened at the same time that suddenly Megan Rapinoe got elevated to iconic status. And I'll talk about the 5'7", which I've noticed is a very common height for female athletes. And Floriana Ismaili is listed at 5'7". The interesting thing with Rapinoe is at the time, Wikipedia, that's in 2019 when she won, Wikipedia had her height listed as 5'7", which I didn't think to take a screenshot because I didn't catch on how Wikipedia changes numbers. Her height was 5'7" at the time as well, which would have been perfect because her birthday is 5'7", 5th of July, and she's a Cancer. It's ruled by the moon. Moon is 57. But they changed it to 5'8". After that, then they changed it to 5'6". So they play games with Megan Rapinoe's height. They've changed it twice. So yeah, Megan Rapinoe is a Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Moon is 57 in Gematria. And her birthday is 5'7", 5th of July. So that, and if you spell out July 5th, it comes to 57. And I guess as another example of this important number with females, is the second highest profile U.S. national team soccer member is to Megan Rapinoe's Alex Morgan. She's also a Cancer. She's born July 2nd, Cancer by the moon, moon 57. She's listed as 5'7". Which is hard to notice. A lot of female athletes are listed 5'7". And now you know why. This Super Bowl, February 13th, 2022, is a date of 57 numerology.
I just gotta mention that it just seems like, I'm just thinking like the athletic, women I've known from high school through older. It seems like that's that's like a taller female in our society, 5'7". It seems like a lot of athletic women are right about that height, 5'7". So there might be something natural about it, but perhaps that's part of the reason that number is associated in the way you're pointing out. I just want to also point out that the woman who you're pointing out that drowned on June 29th, that's the day leaving 185 days left in the year. A lot of rituals with that number. Catholicism, 185. Again, you're saying this all comes back to Mary. Mathematics and Catholicism, both 185. Just a great one example. It wasn't a woman, but World Trade Center is another 185. Supposedly the World Trade Center's collapsed because of Osama's master plan 185 days after his birthday, and then the new Catholic Crusades came out of that. But just the whole 185 Catholic connection fits in with this Florina's death. So just want to point that out.
Right, yeah, so in a reverse full reduction or reverse Pythagorean, moon comes to 15, which is relevant because Megan Rapinoe's jersey number is 15. She's very heavily coded with the moon and Cancer zodiac sign. She's a moon Cancer symbol, like just the way Joe Burrow is a Jupiter symbol. She's a moon symbol. She's heavily coded with it. It's on her jersey number 15. That's moon. It's in her height. It's in everything. Oh no, she was listed as 5'7". Now it was 5'8", then 5'6". So 15, the moon number, is important because from her last competitive game, she played in the World Cup for Switzerland. Her last competitive game was June 14th. And then she drowned in the lake on June 29th, which is a span of 15 days. That's the moon number that they use. And again, the moon influences water. It influences the tides. So here's more to the moon coding to the Super Bowl. In the NFC Championship game that was held at the same venue, because the stadium where the Super Bowl was being held, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, it is the home stadium of the Los Angeles Rams. So, for those who are not familiar with, don't follow it that closely, the Los Angeles Rams will be playing the Super Bowl in their home stadium, even though technically, officially the Cincinnati Bengals are considered the home team. That means they can wear their home jersey, but it's the NFC final was played at SoFi Stadium between the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Then an incident happened after the game. A 49er fan was brutally beaten, and he's been put into a medically induced coma. They actually had to remove part of his skull, is the official story. But a part of the moon aspect of this ritual is the man's name, the victim's name. His name is Daniel Luna. Luna, Luna. Why is Luna? In Latin, Luna means moon. So here's another direct reference of the moon with this stadium and the Super Bowl. It's pretty saturated with it. This is more on a very esoteric level. They have what's called a silver gate. You can even see it in the Catholic Church. They have the papal keys. They have a silver key crisscrossing a golden key. That's the key to the silver gate and the key to the golden gate. That's just deeply esoteric. The silver gate is a metaphor for the realm, the portal from which a spirit, an entity enters from the spirit world through the silver gate into the material world. The opposite of that is the golden gate. That's the portal from the material world to the spirit world. So that's what the silver gate is. And in astrology, Cancer is considered one of the silver gate. It's like a gateway zodiac sign. So the silver gate is very relevant to Cancer. So if you're doing manifestation rituals, you're going to manifest something into the material world. Whatever you're manifesting comes through the Silver Gate. So this could be used for some kind of manifestation ritual. Well, I don't know if I ever have any idea what, probably no way of knowing exactly what that ritual will be, but I think these conditions are all primed. This stress on the moon and the Silver Gate and Cancer is manifestation of something, events or an entity or a birth. But clearly, everything's set up for that, and there'll be no way of ever knowing, but that's what this is. Cancer, the Silver Gate, they're going to manifest something in the material world through the Silver Gate. Hence that emphasis on the moon and Cancer and the Silver Gate. And in ancient Kemet, which is called Egypt, the Greeks called it Egypt, the goddess Isis, who they called Set, she rules the Silver Gate. So again, the Silver Gate is associated with the feminine, with the goddess. And again, it's associated with birth. And again, the word birth sums to 57. Birth ritual sums to 57, which brings to mind the song by Soundgarden, the group Soundgarden, 1992. They did a song called Birth Ritual. And we know who the star of Soundgarden was. It was Chris Cornell, who happened to be born he was born 3 years before the moon landing, but he was born on the moon landing date, June 20th. So yes, birth ritual along with the moon. And look at the date the song Birth Ritual was released, June 30th. That's in Cancer. So just to show that this trend of the moon, Birth Ritual, 57, Cancer. Chris Cornell's a Cancer. He did Birth Ritual, the song released in Cancer. Yeah, that's just to emphasize that point. So the terms Silver Gate and Megan Rapinoe have a double overlap in the base ciphers of English gematria, 118 and 62, and they have like an anagram alignment as well. Silver Gate, Megan Rapinoe, she's a major moon Cancer symbol. And the Cancer is 118. So Silver Gate 118, Cancer is 118. With Cancer is the Silver Gate in mysticism. Megan Rapinoe is 118. And the stadium, which was opened again on the birthday of the Virgin Mary, is on the 118th meridian. So that's a big part of it. And then there's the Trinity aspect, which you brought up very astutely. Yes, Trinity has everything to do with it. And Trinities are a big part of the sacred feminine principle, which I talked about.
We'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight.
If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Anne, before I started using this product, every afternoon my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
To the velvet underground.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got interrupted again, but Rambo still in the middle of his brilliant decode. You got the floor, friend.
Yeah, there's another aspect of astrology which is very important. I spoke about how every planet and the moon and sun are considered planetoids. They have a sign that they rule, and when they're in that sign, and they're not literally in the sign, but from Earth's perspective, they appear to blend in with a specific zodiac sign. But so every planet has a sign where they're at home. It's their domicile. It's when they're at their strongest vibration. And I gave the example of the moon, which rules Cancer, and the moon is at its strongest in Cancer because it rules Cancer. But there's another aspect of astrology which is similar to that, and that is called the exaltation. So when a body is in its exaltation, it's not the same as being at home, but it's another sign in which it's very strong. I say it's the second strongest sign besides the sign that it rules, besides its home. And in the case of the planet Jupiter, Jupiter's home is in Sagittarius and Pisces. That's where Jupiter is at its strongest because it rules Sagittarius and Pisces. But the second most powerful place it's in, which is its exaltation, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So a lot of this moon Cancer symbolism that you see that they're using, clearly they're using it, all lines up. It goes back to Jupiter again because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So yeah, so this is relevant as well. It's not just about the moon, it's also about Jupiter. That's another part of astrology which they take into account. So yeah, I'll talk about the sacred feminine, the drowning death of Ali Sidlowski, soccer player for the University of Cincinnati, and you mentioned the Trinity. She wore number 3. Yes, when you see 3 in a female drowning death, then it's a reference to the female aspect of a trinity. And I gave the example of the consciousness trinity of thought, emotion, action. And you have several trinities in religion. In ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, you had Osiris, Horus, Isis. Isis was the sacred feminine. And the number 3 is the number of Trinity, but 111 is another Trinity number. And the halftime performer at the Super Bowl, which, like as I've laid it out, is a heavy Mary Moon, sacred feminine theme to it. Well, Mary J. Blige was born on 111. That's the Trinity number. She was born January 11th, 111. And I gave another example of a famous female drowning death, which is Maeve Kennedy, granddaughter of Robert F. Kennedy, who drowned in a lake in Maryland. Her birthday was November 1st, 111. That's a Trinity reference. And now we have Ali Sidlowski, who drowned in the lake. The way they got the Trinity number is her jersey number 3. And I give the most salient example of the female in a Trinity, and that's from the famous classic, The Matrix. And the Trinity there was Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity. The Trinity was put on her name, and that's the most vivid example of Trinity and the sacred feminine. But it was just put directly on her. She was named Trinity. So the Trinity is very much associated with the sacred feminine. That's what this ritual is about, and it's a major part of the Super Bowl.
Rambo, while you're talking about this, somebody in the chat said, look at this headline out of Cincinnati. Toledo boxer Robert Easter Jr. shot 3 times. This happened on the 38th day of the year. 3 times in Cincinnati. What do you think about that one? Easter?
I had heard about that, but there's so much going on. I didn't get into this. But yes, Robert Easter, yeah. That's kind of obvious. Right. Jesus Christ is...
It just validates everything you're saying. That's all. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, and again, my point is that sacrifice has been an intrinsic part of just human history, human religion, human spirituality. So people, I guess it's been relegated to the realm of quote-unquote conspiracy if you suggest that it might be ongoing in modern times, but just not, not openly celebrated or acknowledged as a sacrifice, but it's a part of human history. And what is Jesus Christ? He's a sacrifice symbol. He's a sacrifice for the benefit of humans. If the human has to for people to gain the gift of eternal life, a sacrifice is necessary. And I went back to the Sumerian texts where they have creation myths, which they only say that the quote-unquote God, creator beings, actually created humans out of nothing. The suggestion is that they took an already existing being and made it evolve suddenly to the modern state. That's pretty much what it means. But a god had to be sacrificed, and that came before Christianity. So even gods are not exempt from sacrifice. And yeah, this is the overarching. He's from Cincinnati. His name is Easter. Again, you're right. It ties into all of this. I actually looked up. I looked at that story really quick. I think he was a former, IBF champion. But I think when he first won, the date he first won his IBF title, I need to confirm this, I believe was September 9th. The date 9/9, which we've been talking about. Again, the mayor of Cincinnati, the birthday is 9/9. This NFL season started in 9/9. I think he first won his title on that date, September 9th, I believe. So yeah, that's it for my decode here. I just want to talk about my latest video that I put out where I focus on the gorilla that died in the Cincinnati Zoo in 2016. He was shot when a young boy fell into his enclosure, and for the protection of the boy, the gorilla had to be shot. That was back in 2016. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals themselves are saying that they are dedicating this Super Bowl to the gorilla. His name was Harambe, which is very important. His name is very important, Harambe. And this is what I deal in my latest video on my, I embedded it on my post here. I want to talk specifically about Harambe and the real esoteric significance of the gorilla Harambe, who the Bengals have openly embraced. And the spokesman for the Harambe movement, who's coming out for the Cincinnati Bengals saying, we're doing this for him. And this is in my video. If you look at gematria of we're doing this for him, it comes to 99. And Harambe, the gorilla, was born in 99. So you have to look at the etymology of the name Harambe. It actually comes from Kenya in East Africa. It's a slogan for Kenya. It's on the coat of arms of the country of Kenya. And the way Harambe was adopted by Kenyans as a slogan was there were Indian railway workers building railways because India was colonized by the British, just as Kenya was colonized by the British. The British brought Indian workers over to Kenya to build a railway, and they used to, while the Indian workers were working, they would say Har Ambe. They'd say Har Ambe. And then the Kenyans adopted Harambe, but it's two separate words. This is Har Ambe, which is the name of the gorilla. Har Ambe means praise Ambe or hail Ambe. Ambe is a Hindu goddess. That's what that means. So the gorilla is named Har Ambe, which means praise Ambe. The Hindu goddess Ambe, as I've shown here and it's in my video, is depicted riding a tiger. So there we are back to the tiger again. That's the real significance of Harambe. It's really not about the gorilla. It's about the goddess Ambe who rides the tiger. And remember Katy Perry at the Super Bowl riding the big cat performing Roar. So this is not the Super Bowl's first rodeo when it comes to celebrating, the goddess riding the tiger. So yeah, so that's, you want to see more, going more in depth with that. Also the boy who fell in the enclosure, his name is Isaiah Gregg. The Cincinnati Bengals had a coach named Greg, G-R-E-G-G, Forrest Gregg. So that's the name Isaiah Gregg, who fell into the enclosure. His name Isaiah is a big part of this too. That's all in my video. So
just in case,
with all this Mary symbolism.
I was just gonna say that I have old posts on Harambe. It was a silverback gorilla, and silverback equals 102. Like this is the 102nd NFL season, and that zoo was established September 3rd, 1971, a date with 102 numerology. And I'm gonna have to go back and look at this old work because I didn't know reverse gematria when I decoded it back then. But there was a lot of connections what was going on with the Cavs and LeBron that at the time in Ohio as well because they brought it up. But now it's also so it was connected to the Cavs back then. Now it's being connected to another big championship season for another Ohio team, and it was in it near Cincinnati when this happened in 2016. So. And 16, Joe Burrow going for that 16th career win, drafted into the NFL on his 136th day of his age, the 16th triangular number. Patrick Mahomes just laid down for him in the AFC Championship on his 136th day of his age. And again, he's the new Joe Montana, number 16, who beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 16 and finished his career with 16 playoff wins. If Burrow wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get his 16th career win. He's going to do it against Los Angeles. Los Angeles 53, the 16th prime. Again, Tom Brady beat the Rams in Super Bowl 53. Now Brady retires 53 days after Burrow's birthday. Remember in Super Bowl 53, 16 points were scored. The one thing's there for all of you guys who are on the Rams. The Rams' next win is 16, but I don't know. It feels more like Joe Burrow's Mr. 16, so we'll see.
That's my decode for today.
Rambo, did you see what I was talking about with the Queens and Cincinnati's the Queen City and how the Queen's going to turn 96 April 21st and Cincinnati equals 96 and the new Queen, Charles's wife, her title right now, Camilla, whatever her title is, equals 96. And we just had the Queen over the weekend say that Queen Camilla will take her place. Of course, there'll be a king, but there'll be a king and a queen when Queen Elizabeth passes. But Queen Camilla equals 67, and from the Super Bowl to her birthday is 67 days. Kind of like when Burrow won the championship in the Battle of the Tigers, there were 67 points scored in the game. And the word king equals 67 as well. In light of the 225 thing you brought up, the Queen's full name equals 225, and if she dies on May 20th, the same day Adolfo Nicholas died, the day leaving 225 days left in the year when his name's 225, that would also be the same day Billy Cannon died, who's connected to Joe Burrow, because again, Billy Cannon died the same day Joe Burrow transferred to the LSU Tigers, and Queen Elizabeth is a fire tiger, whereas we're in the year of the water tiger, so maybe it's the right kind of year to put out a fire tiger. But what do you see here with Queen Elizabeth? Do you think... by the way, if you missed my work on Led Zeppelin's song Stairway to Heaven, they got the verse about the May Queen. That song came out 201 days after her birthday. It was November 8th it came out. If I'm not... yeah, I do believe it was November 8th, 118. You were talking about that in this video, the 118. Remember, Los Angeles, California equals 118. It's on the 118th meridian. Its birthday is September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. But that song came out 201 days after her birthday. And then you have the band Queen, where one of the main writers for the band, his name is Brian May. And I don't know if you saw the headline, but one of the European football players was supposedly kicking his Bengal cat all over the place this week. And a lot of people interpret the lyric from We Will Rock You by Queen as kicking your cat all over the place. But he really says kicking your can, but a lot of people think it's cat. Have you been following all these angles with the Queen and the Queen City and Regina, which means Queen, you know, losing her son at age 26 when Queen equals 26, and again, the Queen became the Queen on February 6, 26?
Yeah, I was thinking of the Regina King, yeah, that connection to the Queen. I didn't know, like you said, that she's actually from Cincinnati. That I didn't know, which, yeah, that's a major one since it's the Queen City. But also... like the May Queen, that's also kind of a Venus connection. Because Addison lost.
Hold on. Where's this music coming from? Are we on commercial break again? Where'd that just come from?
Toledo champion boxer Robert Easter Jr. is hospitalized.
Oh, sorry. Just the news story decided to start making some noise. Okay, go ahead, Rambo.
It is relevant to what we're talking about, the Robert Easter, yeah. No, yeah, I'll say, yeah, the Queen connection with Regina King. Yeah, I saw that connection, but I didn't know she was from Cincinnati. You said that she's actually from Cincinnati. Now they're trying to scrub that for whatever reason. But the thing with the May Queen, that is also that's also Venus. The May Queen also refers to the original Celtic or Druidic version of Venus, who was the goddess Brigid, and that happens they celebrate her in May, which is mid-spring. And so, Ali Sidlowski, I didn't do the complete decode. There's another element to this where she actually represents Venus. So, because she's a Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is considered feminine. So, yeah, there's as you mentioned, the Queen. So I talk about the sacred feminine, but all you mentioned with the Queen and all the things she's involved in, you can see this is a central esoteric theme, is the sacred feminine. I think this just confirms that. Even if you look at the football, it's a mandorla shape, and you look at the trophy for the Pro Bowl, it's a vesica piscis, which is a symbol of the sacred feminine. So it's a symbol of the female generative organ. So this macho sport, even in the midst of this macho sport, you'll see deeply embedded at its esoteric root is the sacred feminine. That's a lot of this is also the material world, which are in matter, M-A-T-E-R, matter means mother, and they're trying to manifest things in this world, so that's why you see a lot of that.
With regards to, I say it different than you, but you probably say it right. I always say Vesica Pisces, but it is the shape of the football. It's from Sacred Geometry. When the Bengals went to their first Super Bowl 16 against the 49ers, it was January 24th, 82. And that was the 134-year anniversary of the Gold Rush beginning, which the 49ers are named after. Gold equals 16. Super Bowl 16 won by Joe Montana. And the date, January 24th, can be written 24/1, like 241, the 53rd prime. Vesica Pisces equals 134-year anniversary. Vesica Pisces 53 on the 53 date. Vesica Pisces 82 in the year 82, plus Cincinnati, Ohio equals 82. That year the Super Bowl was the 49ers versus Cincinnati. Again, Super Bowl 16, Joe Burrow's the new Joe Montana. He's not wearing 16, but he can pick up his 16th win in this game and do it in tribute to Brady and Montana. And, of course, Brady grew up idolizing Montana in the Bay Area as a 49er fan. And, again, Joe Burrow, it was the Joe Montana Super Bowl 54. Joe Montana 54 between his Chiefs and his 49ers. And that Super Bowl was 54 days after Joe Burrow's birthday. Now here he is in Super Bowl 54. In the Bengals' 54th season. And Water Tiger equals 54 in the year of the Water Tiger. Plus, hey, did you know Queen Elizabeth's father died at age 56, making her queen, and royal family's 56? And now here we are with this Super Bowl 56 synced up with her birthday?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about her. Her father died at 56. I didn't know about that.
He sure did. And he died on February 6th, which, interestingly enough, is the day that Super Bowl 56 was originally scheduled for.
Yeah. So with the Queen so intimately attached to the web, we do see this overarching theme.
If she dies May 20th...
Ali Sidlowski, Ali Sidlowski is a major, I think she's a very major part of the ritual.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm starting to think that the Queen really might die on May 20th, the day leaving 225 days left in the year, 96 days after the Super Bowl on the anniversary of Billy Cannon because of the... By the way, Rambo, Led Zeppelin's song Stairway to Heaven, which references the May Queen. We could have a new Queen in May. That's at the end of Taurus, and the band Taurus sued Led Zeppelin supposedly over Stairway to Heaven, where that lyric is.
Oh, wow, that's a great fact. I didn't know that. That's a great fact that ties everything in.
I wish we could bet. No, never mind. I don't want to bet on the day somebody's going to die. Plus, she's 96, so in a death pool, she only pays 4-1 anyway. But she might. The way these people operate, I wouldn't be surprised if she did die on the anniversary of Billy Cannon. So we'll see. Oh, Rambo, you know what else? Did you know that Joe Biden on Jake Tapper on December 3rd said that eventually he'll resign and make Kamala president once they have their first argument? He said he'll just come up with some kind of disease he's suffering from.
Yeah, I never heard that one. That's a crazy
Go
story.
back and look it
I
up.
never heard that one.
December 3rd, 2020 on CNN. By the way, Jake Tapper equals 59, like the 59th election. Like, I'm thinking that, she's going to be replaced, or she's going to replace him after she turns 59. By the way, Gerald Ford gave us the big clue about Kamala. Did you realize that Gerald Ford was also the president who ushered in Black History Month?
No, I didn't know that.
Anyway, man, the facts are piling up over here. And Rambo, even though you don't know all this stuff, just because of the contributions you made over the years, it's really helped me tremendously with what I do every day. And it's amazing how often, after you give a presentation, the very next day or just days later, there's just another huge example of exactly what you were talking about. And your whole thing with the conjunction and the Bengals, I mean, they didn't have the Super Bowl scheduled for February 13th at that time. But it's amazing how Cincinnati Bengals is 419 and Jewish, and from that great conjunction to the Super Bowl's 419 days later, which is the 81st prime number, and Pittsburgh Steelers equals 81, who the Bengals played, their division rival, and then we just saw Roethlisberger retire, connected to Big Ben, like the clock in London, like where the Queen is. And by the way, did you guys know that the last time the Rams and the Bengals played each other, it was in London, England, where the Queen is? I'm telling you, this thing is so connected to the royal family and the Queen. It's another perfect example of what the New World Jesuit world order is, how they're ritually sacrificing people, how they got this stuff planned out so far in advance. It's just ridiculous. Whatever the Queen's last day is, and I won't be surprised if it is in May, based on what we found with the Zeppelin song and the band Taurus. It just goes to show her demise has been planned for so long. But then the other side of that coin is, we see that these world elite...
Is this what tech interview prep feels like?
Okay, all right, I gotta close this site. It's driving me nuts here. But, again, we see that these world elite get to live to these long ages and die at these old ages in these huge rituals. It just goes to show the world elite have a tier of knowledge that we're not allowed to have down on this. Because, I mean, if all of us could figure out a way to make sure that we live into our late 90s, how long is Henry Kissinger going to live? Is he going to end up being the world's oldest person here? But, I mean, it's obvious that they're on a different tier. They know how to prolong life, and we're just being we're the slave class down here being amused with their rigged games and distraction news stories and elections and all this. But do you have a take on that, Rambo, how these people just live to be seemingly... And let's not forget that her husband, Philip, died at age 99 on the 99th day of the year, and then they buried him on Boomer Esiason's birthday, the last Bengals quarterback to be in the Super Bowl. But do you have a take on how these people are living to be so long?
My take is, I think that actually, in a way, it suggests a weakness, because they're really clinging to the material plane. They want to stay alive in this world, even in decrepit states. And if they can prolong their life for, 5 more minutes, they'll do it. But to me, it shows a weakness if they're this attached to the material world. It shows they're really afraid of death. And to me, I see that as a weakness.
Sure.
So the material world really means everything to them. Like, they even say in Christianity that the material world is, more the plane of the devil. But still, I mean, if this is your attachment, like, you also wonder, what are they afraid of? I see it as a weakness, that they're as afraid of death as much as they put out death for others. They are absolutely. I mean, Dick Cheney used to have a whole team of physicians with defibrillator. They used to follow him everywhere. He's in this protective bubble. Dick Cheney he was because he had several heart surgeries and a weak heart. He was known for that. But he was this, fiery, powerful, intimidating guy. But you see how he desperately clings to life. They desperately cling to the material plane. I think that's part of the reason you see a lot of sacred feminine. Like, it could mean many things. The material world, mater, M-E-T-E-R, that's mother. I think to them, they've made the material more important than the spiritual, it seems to me. I see it as a weakness, honestly, because they're deathly afraid of moving on.
Yeah, I hear everything you're saying. Just for the record, Rambo, Tiger Woods returning for the Masters this year. The Masters concludes 56 days after Super Bowl 56.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to consider.
Again, Tiger Woods is Mr. 54. It's Joe Burrow, the Tiger, in the Bengals 54 season. It looks like a lot of rituals to me, very connected together. So, again, brilliant work as always, Rambo. I appreciate it.
They also one last, like a 213. I brought all the 213s in the Super Bowls on February 13th, 213. Another 213 is Queen of Heaven. We're talking about how the Queen is so intrinsically connected to this. Queen of Heaven comes to 213. That's another 213.
Amazing. Amazing. Stairway to Heaven, Queen in Heaven. Could all be. Could all be.
Yeah, Queen of Heaven, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying if the Queen's on her way to heaven. Yeah, okay. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Awesome work, Rambo. I do see that this screenshot you have here says the establishment date's May 23rd. It's a fair establishment date, but if you read the longer bio, again, the team was voted into existence May 23rd, officially established May 24th, and those numbers connect the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the Jesuits, or those two dates do connect the Scottish Rite and the Jesuits, which are connected at the hip. So.
I think, I don't know if there's an if these words mean differently. Sometimes they say establishment date, and sometimes they say foundation date. And
True.
I think establishment and foundation might mean two different things.
Yeah, it could be.
They'll say the foundation date is it, and the establishment date is 23rd. So I think those two terms mean different things.
Merciful Jesus. All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. This is a sick culture, and our country's a disaster, and it's going to die before your very eyes. Our women's soccer team was supposed to easily win, but they went woke. The one with the purple hair, she didn't play too well. She went woke. Take a look, everything goes bad, but it's true about woke. Do you think that General Patton was woke? It's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. Our country was so respected. Nobody was going to mess with us. And then this clown, he got in office, sort of like the captain of a ship. Let's jump off first before the passengers. I'm getting the hell out of here. I could just see this. The leadership of the Taliban standing there. Somebody walking up. Sir, the soldiers have left. It's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. You know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. You gotta do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you got, no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine. It's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit.
is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, True Seeker, before we go out to the calls, I want to talk about the suicide of Jeremy Giambi, because I'm just looking at this, and it's just so obvious. Again, this is not a suicide. If this man's really dead, this is another ritual murder. Guess who he was drafted by? The Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers. Here we are in the year of the Tiger. What round was he drafted in? The 44th round. The kill number, Detroit equals 44. The Super Bowl on the 44th day of the year. The first ever Super Bowl between two 4 seeds. Remember, overtime equals 44. We actually predicted it dead on Super Bowl 51, why it was going to go to overtime. That pays big odds. It pays over 10 to 1. If you use the alphabetic order, overtime equals 107. If this Super Bowl goes to overtime, it'll be Super Bowl 51 and 56, the only 2 Super Bowls that went to overtime. What is 51 plus 56? 107? I'm just throwing that out there. That's not part of this Giambi thing. But look at this. He was drafted by the Tigers in the 44th round of the 95 draft. He was drafted again the next year. I think that means that the Tigers let him clear waivers. He got drafted again the next year by the Kansas City Royals in the 6th round of the 1996 MLB draft. That's the year Burrow was born. Again, he now represents Cincinnati, the Queen City, in the year the Queen will turn 96. He's the new Billy Cannon. The Super Bowl's 96 days before the anniversary of Billy Cannon's death. When he won the college championship, Super Bowl 54 was right after that. The Joe Montana Bowl, won by the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was won exactly 222 weeks on 2/2/2020, exactly 222 weeks after the Royals won the World Series. Kansas City Royals, Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Royals won the 111th World Series over New York. New York's won 11. The Queen's birthday is the 111th day of the year. We've been talking about this pattern. And now, Burrow goes through the Kansas City Chiefs, one of Billy Cannon's teams. Again, Joe Burrow is going to play all 4 of Billy Cannon's NFL teams in his first ever playoff. And again, Joe Burrow and Billy Cannon had the same resume at LSU, and Joe Burrow transferred to LSU the day Billy Cannon died, which is also the day in history Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, was shot by a cannonball. And in 2020, that was the day Adolfo Nicholas died, the superior general of the Jesuits. I will not be surprised if Queen Elizabeth dies on May 20th. I'm going to say it a million times. I'm not saying for sure that she is, but I won't be surprised. It would just be too perfect. Can you imagine if she dies, at 96 days after the Super Bowl? People better wake up, man. But yeah, year of the Tiger, drafted by the Tigers. Look out for the Detroit Tigers this year. The Bengals just had a huge comeback season. If the Tigers did something big next year, the Detroit Tigers, that'd be a big comeback season. They've been down and out recently. But here's the other thing. He's dead at 47, 132 days after his birthday. Now, we talked about how suicide's 47, but here's the thing. Revelation 13:2. Just think about this verse in light of tigers, cats. Here's Revelation 13:2, like being dead 132 days after his 47th birthday. And keep in mind as I read this, the word beast equals 47. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Brambo was just about how Katy Perry rode the beast the other year at the Super Bowl. I think that was the year the Seahawks and Broncos played, if I'm not mistaken. To go back and see for sure. I think it was. But here's Revelation 13:2. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Don't forget authority equals 47. So does government. So does president. So does White House. So does Republican. So does Democrat. So does Vatican. So does Francis. So does France. D.C. laid out by the French Freemason from the land of the Jesuits. Isn't it sick, you guys? Isn't it just sick the way this stuff just goes on? You know? We knew when Bob Saget died, it was for the 49ers. They end up excelling in the playoffs. Big part of the Joe Burrow ritual, who's connected to Joe Montana. And, you know, I mean, Jeremy Giambi, he played part of his career in the MLB in the Bay Area for the Athletics. Started out in Philadelphia, biblical town. And I just got to take a peek. Jeremy Giambi played in 510 career games. 510, kind of like 51, like Cincinnati. I noticed he played 108 games for Kansas City. That's interesting because Major League equals 108 double stitches on a baseball. A lot of rituals with that. That's how we called the Cubs in spring training of the 112th World Series to break the 108-year drought. And then we saw in the regular season why they do it against Cleveland, the 216 area code, because 108 double stitches is 216 stitches. Not to mention there's the movie Major League with Charlie Sheen. Yeah, there's even more stuff I could think about here. I see 156 plate appearances with Boston. It just makes me think of Brady and Cincinnati Bengals 156 and Burrow being the new Brady. But yeah, I guarantee you this wasn't a suicide. His rookie season was 99. Again, we have number 9 versus number 9. The season began on 9/9. Prince Philip died at 99 on the 99th day of the year. The husband of Elizabeth, again, buried on Boomer Esiason's birthday. He was buried on 17/4, like 174. The phrase number of the beast equals 174, so does Cincinnati. That's what weirds me out about my book, too. The part about the tiger begins on page 174. And then where I first talk about Joe Burrow is on page 213, and now he's in the Super Bowl on 213. And all of that's organic, you guys. I mean, I didn't plan out what pages my book was going to end on. I didn't do anything like that. You know? I've had so much synchronicity. And again, I go back to the Celestine Prophecy book. In that book, the author makes the argument that synchronicity in your life is a sign that you're either on the right path or God is trying to bring a signal into your life to help you understand something. And when I read that book, I just totally resonated with that. It was in college. A woman a little bit older than me told me I had to read that book, and was it when I first got out of college and somebody I worked with? I know I was in my early 20s when I read that book, and I was like, this is exactly right. It's still a long way from knowing this gematria code and seeing all the crazy synchronicity since learning this, but yeah, I really think that's exactly what synchronicity is. And you know, in light of this clearly being related to football and Ohio, football equals 29, Ohio equals 29. Today can be written 2/9. Football born in Ohio, the Bengals trying to win their first Super Bowl. Let's take some calls, though, True Seeker, because we're already late into the show. This is the latest I've ever been into the show before I got onto the calls. So that means, callers, there's a lot of people on hold. I mean, you got to respect. I'm going to be annoyed if I have to, rush you off the phone. Just make your best point, just something that's awesome, that's going to resonate with everybody. One great question, one great point. Not 5 different tangential things. Just boom, the best thing. And please don't ask me, can I do another one? Because there's a lot of people on hold and there's less than an hour of show left. So let's go out to Illinois. Illinois, you're up.
What's up, Zach?
How you doing?
I just wanted to give a quick decode about a supermarket shooting that happened in June 5th of 2001 in Illinois. It was a clear ritual psyop. Let's see, hold on one second. The Chicago Tribune posted it, and it was called the Meat Locker Shootout Ends in a 14-hour Siege. It was about a 27-year-old white supremacist that was named Eric D. Hansen, and his idol was Adolf Hitler. He resisted arrest for a gun possession charge, shot at 2 officers, aged 30 and 38. Then he ends up getting into the store somehow and ends in a shootout with a bang with him getting killed at the very end.
So,
but
just
it's
in that...
hilarious they mentioned Adolf Hitler.
Who died at 56,
What's
supposedly.
that?
Who died at 56, supposedly in a suicide, and his name equals 56, and again, 5'6". I was going to say, them calling it
and then...
You said they called it the Meat Locker?
The Meat Locker. Meat Locker is an exact match with the Vatican, and then his name is Eric D. Hansen, which is it matches all 4 ciphers of Adolf Hitler exactly.
And that's got to be a tribute to history, because one of the most famous books, The Jungle, is about the meat packing industry in Chicago and how horrific it was, and how they were like literally grinding up children and just saying, whatever, put it in the hot dogs anyway. And I got to go back and look at that one. Great find.
Yeah, they also mentioned he's got a sparred eagle tattoo, and the grocery store at the time was called Eagle.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and look at all that.
It's so obvious, and it's good for anybody that's like new to this, because it's just like if you put the numbers in, it's literally they all match up.
Boom.
You know?
Great work. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a great night.
You too.
Keep killing it, and I appreciate you being out there pounding pavement, man. That's awesome. We need more people doing it. I need to get out there, everybody.
Indeed. We got to do it all over. Bust up your local news station's broadcast. No more propaganda. All right, man. Have a good night.
That's right.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Yeah, I really gave a textbook job on how to just blow up a newscast. Too bad they didn't broadcast it. It would have been a ratings earner. What's up, George?
Hello, Zach.
How you doing, man?
Good. So, I know you gave me your email address, but I think I wrote down the wrong one.
Well, that would explain.
Before I do my 1D code.
All right, here, George.
Can you again?
George, just so you can look at my channel name, Gematria Effect News, but all one word. Just spell it all together. Gematria Effect News at gmail.com. Do that one. You can just copy and paste the channel name, get rid of the spaces. Gematria Effect News at gmail.com. You'll have it.
Okay, I'll send you an email tonight after I share my 1D code. I just wondering, this happened about 3 years ago, on February the 7th, 2019. Baseball great Frank Robinson died. Did you do a decode on him?
Frank Robinson?
Yes.
I missed that. He died on the 38th day in 2019. He died on the 38th day of the year. Death. 38.
Okay. So, I know you've spoken about several times about Jackie Robinson, who was the first black baseball player in Major League Baseball in the 20th century. There were some back in the 19th century, but that's another conversation altogether. Okay. I realize there are obvious differences between Frank and Jackie, but have you looked at the similarities? Well, first, Frank Robinson was born on the 31st of August, 1935, and as you said, he died on February the 7th, 2019, at the age of 83. He was in his 84th year. Now,
I gotta add one more. I see something else about it. He died on his 161st day of his age in Los Angeles. Los Angeles equals 161.
Okay, so Frank Robinson played baseball from 1956 to 1976. As a matter of fact, he won the National League Rookie of the Year, and he spent his first decade with the Cincinnati Reds. I repeat, the Cincinnati Reds. Now, his colossal, well, he has several. He was the first black player, and actually, I believe the first player, period, to win the MVP, the most valuable player of both leagues, the American and the National. He was also the first black player to win the Triple Crown, i.e., lead the majors in batting average, home runs, and runs batted in 1966. He became the first black manager of the Cleveland Indians in 1975. Also, he became the first black manager in the National League with the San Francisco Giants in 1982. Oh, also for good measure, he got his undergrad degree from Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio.
And that's it right there. Once I clicked on his page and saw that. I was waiting for you to get to it, and I was like, that's why you knew about this. But look at it. He went to Xavier. Xavier equals 83 and 38, and he's dead at 83 on the 38th day of the year. And then his debut is April 17th, which is Boomer Esiason's birthday, and Cincinnati's 174. Like, that date can be written 17/4. That's the same day they buried Prince Philip this year. Oh, my goodness.
But also, he hit 38 home runs in his rookie season, 1956, which stood as the major league record for over 30 years, and the major league record the national record for well over 50 years. I forgot who broke in the National League. I know Mark McGwire hit 49 home runs in 1987 with the Oakland Athletics.
Think about that. Think about that. He sets the record with 38 home runs. That's what he's known for in 56, knowing these Jesuits, and then he dies on the 38th day of the year. That's what I'm always saying. These celebrities die by the number that they're most... He had 83 RBIs that year to go with his 38 home runs, man. It's so scripted, it just blows my mind. So, anyway.
Well, also, 1956 was Jackie Robinson's last season. He played from 1947 to 56.
And then a new Robinson comes.
You mentioned Jackie Robinson's birthday before, which is, I believe, the 31st of January, 1919. But Jackie died on October 24th, 1972, at the age of 53.
That means he died in his 54th year of life, and baseball's 54, like Jesuit order.
Okay, so I didn't realize until I came across this old gematria stuff. I always thought this was organic.
Well, some people still think it's organic. I don't, though. I mean, look at the cover of Murder by Numbers movie poster. Look how the song Murder by Numbers came out in '83. It doesn't seem like there's anything organic to it to me, but so. What do you...
Okay, so, and by the way, do you know what... Okay, just the last point regarding Frank Robinson. As I said, he won the American League MVP in 1966. If you run his numbers, Frank Robinson's numbers are 66 and 78.
His jersey numbers?
Well, I say his jersey numbers was 20. But if you run his gematria numbers, the big ones are 66 and 78.
I see. I see that he retired at age 41, which means he retired in his 42nd year of life. And that's kind of like Hank Aaron retiring at age 42 and Jackie with the 42. And again, you're pointing that he came into the league as the new Black Robinson the year Jackie retired. Yeah, I really don't think any of this stuff's organic. So...
Well, and of course, Frank Robinson basically got himself in the Hall of Fame with his time with the Baltimore Orioles from 1966 to 71. He was teammates with a Brooks Robinson, who was white, who was the great defensive third baseman for the O's. And now, of course, Brooks Robinson was a devout, or is still alive, is a devout Roman Catholic. Now, he's going to be 85 this year. So I have a gut feeling Brooks Robinson's probably not going to be around for much longer. That's just a gut feeling.
Yeah, probably right about that. This Frank Robinson was also inducted into the Hall of Fame in '82 as a career Cincinnati Red, the year they went to their first Super Bowl. And Ignatius Or it's Loyola. Loyola equals 82. Just, another common Jesuit word there, so.
So, and of course, now, Frank Robinson spent his career with the Reds, the Orioles, the Cincinnati Reds, the Orioles, the Dodgers, and the Indians. Now, Jackie Robinson spent his entire career with the then Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, it's interesting. So who's in the Super Bowl this year? L.A. and Cincinnati.
Yeah. Super Bowl 56, too, and this guy's big year was in 56. And again, he went in the Hall of Fame the Bengals' first year of the Super Bowl. I'm sure it's all connected. That's what they do. Their rituals are just a big web, ever connected. And, I mean, he went to Xavier. Now the Who is returning to play in Cincinnati after they're back in the Super Bowl. And again, 191 days from the last concert tragedy, while Xavier's 191 years old and Xavier University's 191, like Society of Jesus. It's just definitely not organic. So.
Well, okay, I did have something else to share, but I guess I'll have to wait until next week. It has to do with Gavin Newsom.
Okay. All right, George. Send me that email. We got to set up a show. Appreciate it.
Okay. Look forward to it.
All right, take
care.
care.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, have a good night. What's up, Marco? Marco?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's up?
Oh, I'm on. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Yeah, what's going on?
Ain't too much, man. Got something for you. Really quickly, I gotta drop this on you. I don't know if you've heard Joe Burrow's nicknames, but one of them is Joe Shiesty.
Yeah.
Shiesty equals 33.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Joe
He's also
Shiesty's
known-
54 too, isn't it? Joe Shiesty?
Yeah. I think it's 54. What is? I thought you were looking it up. So,
it's okay.
You sure that's that?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Another one of his nicknames is Joe Burr, like Cole, like BRRR. That equals 41. Actually, let me say first that it equals 49. So that's interesting because they're playing in Sophie. Sophie equals 49. America is 49. The Super Bowl is 49. All right. Now, Joe Burr also equals 41. And we talked about the Regina King thing, and we know that King equals 41. We also know if we write out the Queen, that equals 41 as well. Also, to go along with what you just said about Master equals 41 as well. Now, you just said something deep. I think this is the organic code, but you just said Burrow, the new Brady. That equals 222. And the year is 2022. All right. I don't know if you paid attention, but also DC just got its name for its football team, and that is the Commanders. And the Commanders equals 213. And they made sure to do this 11 days before the 213 Super Bowl. 11 equals 27. Ritual was 27. So that's not really why I called, Zach. I'm going to go ahead and get off of that. What I really called for was that, I don't know if you heard about Biden, the administration supposedly, they are going to provide grant funding to pay for distribution of, say, smoking kits, syringes, infectious disease kits, and basically, I guess it was a bad joke. People were saying that they were providing crack pipes. Now, what's interesting about that is that crack pipe equals 46. Syringes also equals 46. And they were, like I say, providing safe sex kits. And if you write out Biden condom, that equals 199 to 46 prime. That's pretty funny. So what was interesting about that whole thing, if you ask me, Zach, it was just the disrespect of it all. Because this is the same man who, you know, brought out the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. In other words, the Crime Bill of 1994. So basically, that also equals 213, Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. If I put the in front of it, it equals 228, and we know that's the death number for the English Sumerian. Basically, I wanted to have a little bit longer, Zach, but I want to respect everybody that they're on hold and everything. You know, I know it's been a kind of a slow motion show. So what I want to bring the attention to is that it's interesting that the Violent Crime Control Act basically was enacted on 1/39 on the 13th of September 1994. And 2 years later, we see Tupac dies, and that's Mr. Letter to the President. So if you just look at all the things that are around that letter to the president equals 111. The letter to the president equals 111. Tupac was born in New York. That equals 111. Drug wars equals 111. And also dealing with this program that he's trying to introduce, harm reduction program, is 111 as well. Tupac finished this last album right here on, look, 9/6/1996. So 9696, like you were just talking about. And that had numerology of 111 as well.
And did you see that Snoop Dogg's releasing a new album on the anniversary of the Tupac All Eyes on Me on February 13th?
I did not see that.
The same day he's performing in the Super Bowl.
It makes total sense, Zach. I was just about to say, remember, Tupac was really, he's supposed to be on stage with them. It wouldn't surprise me if we had like the Tupac, what you call it, the hologram.
Sure.
They must around and bring the hologram back for this, because he's part of Death Row, you know what I mean?
And I guess Snoop Dogg just bought Death Row Records or created a new Death Row label, and now he's got an album coming out on the anniversary. And remember, his whole murder was the case thing. That killing was 56 days from his birthday. We'll be right back, everybody.
The biggest poison in us is regret.
I think there are a lot of people that have dreams and aspirations of things that they always wanted to do, but it wasn't the right time, or they didn't have enough money, or they didn't have enough experience. It's never the right time. You're never going to have the right experience. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're 70. And you're like, God, I wish I could have done it.
It's what you don't do that screws with you later on.
I get one shot at this life. This is it. And I don't want to go through life being the 80% version of me. I don't want to look back and be like 77 and be like, I didn't do that. There's so much I want to do, and I love life so much, I don't want to miss it.
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? IALife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to ialife.com now. That's AYA-life.com.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent from Strange World, broadcasting live every Tuesday evening, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on True Frequency Radio. Strange World covers a wide range of topics, from enclosed world theory to lunar waves to the end of the world in film. It's basically doomsday with a silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things conspiracy and promote confidence, hope, and humor whenever possible. If there's a topic you want us to cover or a guest you would like to see interviewed, please email me at msargent23@comcast.net. So please join me and tell your friends about True Frequency Radio, the leader in real radio programming. bringing you quality, cutting-edge broadcasts from around the world.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. Marco got cut off by the commercial, but we were talking about Snoop Dogg, and Neo pointed out that, yes, he did just buy Death Row Records, and go figure that Death Row Records was established February 25th, the 56th day of the year. Tupac puts out his last album on 2/1/3/96, dies 213 days later, and then after his death, they released the Machiavelli album with him on the cross like Jesus, and they release it on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Capital punishment equals 201. Triclavianism equals 201. That's how the Romans capitally punished people, with crucifixion like Jesus. The Jesuit order 201, the Holy Bible 201, all these things being biblical riddles. Remember Tupac's last music video before he died was I Ain't Mad At Ya, with him up in heaven. Talk about predictive programming. I gotta be honest, though, that's one of my favorite Tupac songs. But, yeah, man. And it reminds me, Shock G just died recently by the numbers. He died right after Brady won the Super Bowl last year. And Shock G's connected to Tupac in a big way. Are you still there, Marco? Oh, hold on. Now he's there. Sorry, I forgot I muted you over the break. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay. Was there more you wanted to say?
I got just two more quick points, man. Like I said, I'm going to cut it off. This 213 date, if you mark it to what I'm speaking of, the crime bill of '94, the anniversary, of course, is September, so it's exactly 7 months later from the Super Bowl. And the name of the album that you were just talking about, Machiavelli, is the 7-Day Theory. If you notice, Tupac, if I'm not mistaken, you correct me if I'm wrong, I thought he got shot on 9/6, the day that he supposedly finished the album.
Nah,
and he lived for 7 days, supposedly, and then died on the 7th day, I thought.
It was 9/7.
Which is 9,
no.
10.
That's 7 days later. That'd be a total of 8 days. He got shot on 9/7. Remember, he got shot on Eazy-E's birthday, and Eazy-E was with Ruthless Records, which is 201, and Eazy-E died 201 days from his birthday, and his birthday is 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime. Or wait, was that? Never mind. He's born on 9/7. He died on 26/3. Eazy-E. And then I found out that his group, Bone was originally named the Band-Aid Boys, which equals 201, which makes me laugh. I was like, what? The Band-Aid Boys? Where are they getting these names? Johnson & Johnson? But,
Right.
But,
That's deep, man.
Anyway, I mean, it's just, Tupac, though, got shot on September 7th for sure, because, again, remember, death is 97. 97 is the 25th prime. He dies at 25 on the 25-year anniversary of Machiavelli. At the Travis Scott concert on the day leaving 56 days left in the year on the stage, it's a big cross, supposedly people killed in the crowd. So.
Right. So okay, yeah, so he gets shot the day after that they finished the album, 9/7 like death. I got you. Mm-hmm. I got the last two quick points, Zach. Biden is just basically trying to, him and Bernie Sanders, of course, they were the two that made the crime bill official the first time around. But now they're talking about something called the Reverse Mass Incarceration Act. And basically, it's still more the same BS, because that equals 118 like death. It equals 431, the 83rd crime, like death. It equals 179, the 41st crime. The crucified is 41. And then if we spell out 41 as a word, it equals 46, just like the, sacrifice, Biden, not Biden, president number 46, and then 118 death. So, yeah, it's a lot around this, man. Just looking at this for me, Zach, if you don't mind, the Reverse Mass Incarceration Act. I think they're going to bring that up soon. they're gonna be talking about that a lot soon. Excuse me. So,
reverse.
Yeah, I just leave it there, man. I appreciate you letting me get on.
Reverse mass incarceration. Okay, it came up. That sounds weird. Okay. I better look into that. I hadn't even heard about it. All right, appreciate it, Marco. And by the way, guys, Marco was super confident the Bengals were going to beat the Titans after the death of Regina King's son. And then the next week we had Howard Hessman dead right before the game. It's like, they're just going to kill everybody connected to Cincinnati for the Bengals this year. So, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. That's because really quickly, that was because the reason why I figured it out was because, remember, Regina King's first show that she was on was 227, and 227 is the 49th prime. So, you know, it's Super Bowl America again. So, yeah.
NFL 49, Super Bowl 49, America 49, their first Super Bowl versus the 49ers in the anniversary of the Gold Rush. Mm-hmm. What are you feeling right now with the riddles out there? Are you feeling the Bengals or the Rams?
Man, I'm feeling the Bengals all the way, Zach, but honestly, I'm getting scared because it's like it's too strong of a riddle now. It's like the energy. If they would have reversed this energy now, man, it'd be off the chain. Like, they would. I'm talking about so many hearts. The only person that'd be happy in the world would be Bobby. Bobby be jumping up and down, going crazy, man. Like,
the only way the Rams are winning, if it's more about one of the Tigers on that team, either that lineman that's played his whole career for the Bengals and Rams, who will be the oldest guy on the field, who's now with the Rams, but he played the majority of his career at the Bengals. Not to mention his name equals 54, and it's the Bengals' 54 season. Or Odell Beckham, who's probably just the single biggest star on the field, but I really do think Burrow, they're making him the new future face of the league, and that's why the Brady's retirement's on the year of the Tiger. I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league. The NFL always makes it the Great White Hope League. That's why, I mean, it feels more like it's about Burrow. So
I agree, man. And I can go back and forth with this conversation, Zach, but I swear I'm getting off the phone with you, man. I appreciate you letting me speak. Hopefully nobody's mad at me in the chat for taking up a lot of time, man. But thank you for letting me, get on.
That's okay, Marco. Of course, we all appreciate you. You have a good night, man. Take care.
Likewise, brother. You too, man.
Yeah, see you. All right, let's go out to the man in New York. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Anything new going on?
No, not really. Not saying anything. I'm just listening. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate
you got a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you got a lot of people waiting, so
right.
I just pass right on.
All right, friend. Well, I appreciate you're out there.
All right.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Yeah, you.
All right, let's go out to Bart in Chicago. What's up, Bart?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
How you doing, man?
Really?
Yeah.
Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, I'm going to be quick, too. I just wanted to say thank you to a lot of people that are in the chat that we kind of became friends. I started doing interviews of people who are in the community. I did one with Chigozi. I did one with Ben. They were pretty badass. So I just wanted to say thank you for everybody. And if I could just promote my channel. Can I have a shameless plug, Zach?
Say it again?
Can I have a shameless plug about my channel?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard me. I said I'm starting to do interviews with people that are in our community. I'm asking them, how they found your work and how they learned to decode and all that stuff. So I've got already several more interviews lined up, but I got a strike for mirroring your stream at the scene of the crime. So I got to wait a week before I get back into it.
I see what you did. You mirrored the stream from Monday. Yeah. It's such a shame that, why does that need to be, what am I violating there? I'm going there asking questions. I'm telling everybody I'm not coming to assumptions, but I have reasons to lean this way. What do they need to censor there? That's just, all that's doing is some real, we know, I'm asking a rhetorical question. They just don't want people to see the truth. That's what I hate about, I hate being taken down for misinformation when what they're really doing is just blocking for they're working. We know it's the Jesuits. They control the whole damn thing. They control these big tech companies. The news is just so maddening. And then you got people out here in my comment section every night. I don't know. I still think it's all kind of organic. It's just like, you know what I think? Actually, you know what I know? I know that you're fucking retarded. You think they'd censor me if all this shit was just organic? We're exposing how fucking contrived this shit is, and you guys are still out there like, I just think the universe is operating this way. There'd be no reason to be censoring me if it was all just that way. It's because we're exposing what a fucking crime this is.
Yeah, exactly. Because what I did on my channel, basically, we did a waiting for Zach to get to the crime of the scene. So then me and Ben were talking, and then when you got there, somebody said that he's live. So I went to your channel, and we were all watching it on your. Well, a lot of people went to your stream, but some of the people stayed on my stream, and I was just mirroring it. And then next day, I actually got struck for fucking medical misinformation.
Yeah, it's a joke, man. It's a joke.
Unbelievable.
You know what else they did? You know what video they struck me for? When I was doing the live stream the other night, and they didn't strike me for the stream I was doing. They took down the one stream for streaming at the Fred Meyer, but then I did a stream that night. They didn't strike that stream, but they deleted the whole stream by striking a different video at the time, because then they got two videos with one. The video that they struck me for was the one I did on the reason that they were having the gathering in Ottawa on January 29th with the trucker convoy on the anniversary of the mass shooting there, and how, again, just why that date's perfect for divisive stories. Because no matter, people are taking different sides on the trucker convoy. So I'm saying, what are the odds of this mass shooting anniversary with these same numbers being just like this trucker convoy on the same day in history? What did that video have to get struck for? I mean, you would. The mainstream media is like trying to paint this as bad. I was almost trying to paint it as bad, and then I got struck for that. It's like, fuck, I'm almost in agreement with them, and then they still strike me. And then they said it was taken down for misinformation. It's like, where is the misinformation? Pointing out the gematria overlap and that these things happen on the same date in history? Where is that misinformation? I hate these fucks at Google, man. They make me sick.
Yep, and that's why it's like, why was my video struck for fucking medical misinformation? You know? Makes no fucking sense. Well, maybe because me and Ben were talking about some shit, but we weren't saying anything, and we were even trying to basically, I say, don't use the words that they don't like us to use, and I still fucking got hit with medical misinformation, so it is what it is. I think I might do a backup channel, so. Yeah, but once again, I want to just call in and say thank you for everybody that showed up and who's, who comes to my streams, and I'm looking forward to making it a good series of the people that are here and why, how they found you and stuff like that, and Chigozi, we had almost a 5-hour stream, and we basically, he taught us how he decodes, I taught people how I decode, so that's kind of like what I'm doing for the community.
Well, awesome work. I appreciate it, Bart. Again, you guys find Bart's YouTube channel, Seek Truth 101. Find him on Free to Find Truth. Just search Bart. You'll find all of his work. Easy to find on Free to Find Truth.
Yeah, I just posted my channel on Free to Find Truth too, so it'll be easy to find.
All right, appreciate it.
I'm gonna pass on. Pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, have a good night, Bart. You take care. Thanks, man. All right, let's go out to Georgia. Going out to the land of the Bulldogs. What's up, Georgia?
How you doing, man?
Doing well. What's going on?
Not too much. Just wanted to throw a couple things out there real quick. The Jeremy Giambi saw 209 RBI's careers, 2/9 rules numerology. Take out the 0, 2/9.
And you know what else? You know what else? Yeah, the Google Doodle today. The Google Doodle today for one of the 3 women to ever play in men's baseball who played in the Negro Leagues, which I covered earlier today. Her team name equaled 209. I talked about that. It's in my decode. So then I saw that 209 runs batted in. And look at his batting average. 263, the 56th prime. Royal family 56. His first team he played for was the Royals. I mean, come on.
And then I caught Giambi by itself, reverse rules numerology 40. We're on the 40th day of the year. And then also Tuukka Rask, the goaltender for the Boston Bruins, retired today, and he wore number 40 on his jersey.
Oh, shit,
and then
man.
One last thing I want to throw out
Hold
there
on.
to you.
Jeremy Giambi. Am I spelling it right? Oh, never. You know what else? Jeremy Giambi 117, and that the World Series that just passed was the 117th World Series that ended November 2nd. So that means he's dead. What's today? Today's the 40th day of the year? So November 2nd leaves 59 days left in the year. So he's dead 99 days later. And we're talking about all this 99 stuff with the Super
There's a
Bowl.
99 right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right there. I mean, this is clearly for the football game. It's sick.
Yeah, well, and then with the Bob Saget thing, I was throwing some stuff in the gematria calculator, and you went with head trauma. I went with bleeding on the brain, which bleeding on the brain, you got the 92 there, 9/2, 322, and a 97 in there. So
How does it take a month for them to figure out that he had head trauma? Shouldn't that be so obvious? Like, if I found a dead body on the street and I took a look at the body and his head was all fucked up, I'd be like, head trauma, you know? Wouldn't take me a month to figure that out.
I heard the head trauma thing. I was like, what is going on? You already know, man.
They just treat us like we're so stupid. I mean, how can that detail just be coming out a month later? And is the guy even dead? He's probably not even dead. I mean...
Yeah, true that, man. But, yeah, I just wanted to throw those couple things out there, man. I've really been enjoying your vids, and I appreciate you, man.
All right, yeah. Great observations. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, take care. All right, let's go out to 207 Maine. Maine, we got to keep it snappy. All right, let's go to the next one. 562, you're on. California.
Hey, Zach, just calling to say hi, man. Just great show, and let's keep rolling. Forward ends.
Indeed. I agree. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Let's go out to Trenton, New Jersey, 609.
What's up, bud?
How you doing?
You seen Robert Woods? Robert Woods, their their wide receiver? His birthday is April 10th, Martin Luther King date.
MLK. Wait, MLK April 10th. Where's the connection?
Robert Woods, the guy, the wide receiver for the Rams.
I got that part. The question was, where's the connection to Martin Luther King on April 10th?
Oh, guess it just Matthew Stafford's wife. Also, she got like twins and stuff.
Wait, where is that? Hold on, you just said you connected it to Martin Luther King through April 10th. Where is the connection?
I guess the date of Robert Woods' birthday, the wide receiver.
And how is that connected to Martin Luther King April 10th?
Don't know. Maybe there's just double numbers. Everyone's seeing double numbers.
I thought you just called and said that.
And double numbers.
I appreciate the call, man. Have a good night. Okay. I don't know if he's smoking too much or what, but we all just heard him say MLK died April 4th. I don't know what point he's making. We're going to the next caller. 865. What's up, 865?
What's up, Zach? I don't know if this is a reach, but I got something I want to share with you. Can you Google on your screen? Can you Google ultra rare black tiger spotted?
I saw it in India. Yeah, right at the start of the year. Tiger.
I know. I want to touch on it.
Well, I got so many damn tabs open right now. I have so many tabs open. The reason I didn't open up Bart's channel is because the computer's overheating. I don't want to open up any more tabs right now. Sorry. Just tell us.
No worries. Let me just run it by you. Yeah, so if you Google that, you'll see the most recent sighting was on February 1st, 2022. The next one down the line, the next most recent sighting says November 4th, 2020. If you do the time between those two dates, you'll get 1 year, 2 months, and 29 days, kind of like 1229, which is the 201st prime.
Very, very good. Yeah, very good. Great observation. Appreciate it.
Like I said, I don't know if it's a reach, but yeah,
no,
absolutely.
I think it's right on. Good job, man. Perfect.
Yep, take it easy, man.
Yeah, have a good night. Okay, let's go out to Australia. Australia, what's going on?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm just listening, son.
Well, appreciate you tuning in from Australia. You have a good night. Or a good day, actually. Have a good day over there. Yeah, you have a good day in Australia. You take care. They're a whole day ahead of us. Let's go out to Florida. What's going on, Florida? 850. All right, let's go on to Seattle. 206.
Hey, Zach.
What's up?
Hello?
What's up?
Hey, man. I just had a question, man. I'm from Pennsylvania, man. I think the news broke either April 13th or April 3rd in 2016. Donald Trump said Harrisburg, Pennsylvania was going to be a war zone. So I've been trying to look at things because 3 Mile Island is being shut down, which, you know, if you knew about TMI, they have a plan to take it apart, but I don't think they're going to take it apart. I think they're going to blow it up. So I've been trying to figure it out. So if anybody wants to go ahead and try to help figure it out, I think that'd be a cool thing to do, man.
If
but that's all I have to say about
April
anything, man.
13th is the day, if that is the actual day, that's the day after the Civil War started in history, and April 12th, and it was Trump who's connected to the whole insurrection thing that was all about the Civil War. I'm going to go back and look at that. That's interesting. I didn't know about that, or if I did, I forgot about it, so appreciate that.
Yeah, I think 3 Mile Island, I think, happened in the 1970s during some time, but I know they had this big bill about when they're trying to take it down. But I know he said he came to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, saying that it would look like a war zone. So I've been looking at phrases like that to see, you know, what's going on. But I thank you, man.
All right, I'm going to check it out. Appreciate it. You have a good night. Okay, let's go out to 240. 240, you're on. Maryland. Maryland, you're on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, it cut out there for a second. So usually I call from 301. My name is Josh, by the way. I got a couple of things. I'm going to run through them real quick. We had a mayor die. I'm not going to go over the numbers, but I just wanted to say that we had a mayor die in one of the subset cities of D.C. in Maryland. And his suicide was absolutely by the numbers. I'm going to post it on Free to Find Truth, maybe tomorrow. My laptop broke. But anyway, I want to talk about, Event 201. And from Event 201 to the first U.S. COVID case was 94 days. And it was also 13 weeks and 3 days. And that's funny because eugenics is 83, 38, and 133, and 13 weeks and 3 days is kind of like 133. But to tie it all in together, it was 94 days. And in full reduction, if you do Henry William Gates, and then you do the abbreviation of senior and junior, either one, they both sum to 94 in full reduction. And I just thought that was kind of a little perfect, you know?
Indeed. Indeed. Well, I appreciate it, friend. You have a good night, man. Thank you for that.
One more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I got one more thing about the Richmond shooting. The killer, he was on the 332nd day of his age, and if you write out the address of the grocery store with Washington abbreviated, so if you write out the numbers 101, but you just use numbers, you just write exactly the address. You don't write out the word of the number. You do 101 in Wesleyan Way, Richland, in Washington abbreviated. In reverse order, it's 332. And also that killer, he was 33 days to his birthday. And the guy that died, his birthday was 5/6, kind of like 56, And also from the date of from his exact birth date to the date that he died was exactly 2,222 weeks. I just thought that was strange.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We got to keep it moving. Like I said, there's not a lot of time left. Appreciate it, man. You have a good night. He didn't want to leave that bathroom stall. North Carolina, what's up, NC?
Hey, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I'm calling in to talk about Revelation, when the mark of the beast is, and how all this tiger theme fits in. It may require a little bit of explanation, though.
Okay.
So when you go through Revelation of the Bible, the sum of the 66 book of the Bible is 532,033, which we read like a date. And my theory is that is the date that the mark of the beast is going to be introduced to us. And all the scripture we have comes back to this date. Now, the reason why the tiger theme fits in is because in Daniel, which is a prophetic book, in Daniel 7:6, it talks about the third beast of the Bible.
There's 30 seconds until the music comes on, so you got to make your point in 30 seconds because I can't stop the music.
Okay. My point being is that May 3rd, 2033, the mark of the beast is going to be introduced to us. And then by 2034, it's my theory that we'll have to take it. I have a video on YouTube where I posted like a brief summary of my thoughts.
Where's it at?
With some
Say it
explanation
quick.
and some examples.
Say it quick.
I'm going to put it in the chat. It's ProStalker888.
Post it on Free to Find Truth. I bet the chat deletes it. They delete most links, but I'll look for it. Appreciate it, man. We'll be back next week, everybody. Have a good night. All right, again, Wednesday night, you guys, I can't control the commercials or the music. It's all on timers. You know, I'm just supposed to speak in the gaps. But, yeah, we're getting up super early here because Sweet Lady's on this new schedule. And it's just weird. I've been having the worst time sleeping lately. I haven't had a good night's sleep in a while, but I'm not going to stay on extra tonight. And I need to really just stop making videos for the time being and just finish the book. I mean, I'm just putting so much energy into keeping up with the news and making videos and trying to write the book, and it's just like, I feel like that's the thing that happens too as time goes on. It's like more something like, oh man, now this happened, and I feel like I got to tuck this in the book, and it's just like, I just need to finish the book. So anyway, you guys, we're going to wrap it up there for tonight. And again, if you guys didn't realize, you know, I know a lot of you guys are being nice and you're like, yes, you're back. I've been missing you the last 2 months. You guys, those comments really piss me off. You should know my MO. You guys, I don't take days off. If you think I haven't put out a video for the last 2 months, I mean, it's just like, it's like an insult to me. Gematria Effect News 23 has been created since this channel. Gematria Effect News 24 has been created since this channel. I'm about to create Gematria Effect News 25 because 24 is censored right now. It just got 2 strikes. It's just unbelievable to me that you guys can't figure out what happens when I stop posting. You guys don't realize that the only time I stop posting on a channel is when it's suspended or deleted? I mean, I'm just amazed. I can't believe how many, and I mean, like, it says, are you subscribed to Gematria Effect News 24? I mean, literally that video was up for 2 fucking months, and you guys didn't realize that video was there? I mean, you guys, I know what you guys are doing. The only time you guys watch a video is when you get a notification on your phone. Oh, I got a notification. Let me watch. That's not sufficient in the age of censorship, but Google knows that's all it takes to destroy somebody's platform and audience because they know almost everybody's audience is so lazy. All they do is once they find a channel, they click subscribe, and then they watch the videos when they get notified and they're interested. They don't go out and search for the channel. It's so obvious. I've been to nearly 100,000 subscribers 3 different times with Gematria Effect News. I can't get back up there because I don't get any of my subs back when they delete the channels. And then you guys are like, man, thanks for coming back, Zach. I thought, man, 2 months off. No, there hasn't been 2 months off, guys. In the last 2 months, you've missed the best 2 months of the work I've ever done. That's what you missed in the last 2 months. The best work that was ever done in this community. You know? And you guys haven't been there because you haven't been paying attention. You've been letting the censorship Nazi police win the battle. So, it's very frustrating, you guys. It's very frustrating that it's so easy for Google to win this game because they know how inept most people are. That all they can do is click buttons, don't even have the, you know, the brain power up here to go back and actually search to see if somebody's putting out new content on a new channel because they got suppressed again. And if that insults you, I don't really give a shit. Like I always say, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to change the world. And people need to stop acting so lazy and incompetent and pathetic. That's why we are where we are. Because we have a lazy, incompetent, pathetic society. And you might think you're awake, but honestly, if you thought I was gone for the last 2 months, you're part of the group I'm talking about. You are part of who I'm talking about. So, anyway. We'll leave it there. And, again, I got a BitChute channel, too. BitChute's finally working better. But I see that they're suppressing me on BitChute. You know, I used to be able to get thousands of views over there. Now I can only get like 100 views on a video. So that they're doing some kind of suppression tactic over there as well. But it actually works now. I don't have to upload a video a gazillion times for it to process. Now it's processing on the first try. But, yeah, if you guys want to watch the live stream at the Fred Meyer shooting, supposed shooting, that video is now on BitChute. It got deleted off YouTube. That's why Gematria Effect News 24 suspended. And look out for Gematria Effect News 25. I'm going to create it real soon. I'm going to create it real soon, Gematria Effect News 25. All right, True Seeker. Until next time.